What's up, everyone? You're very welcome along to tonight's Between the Lines. I'm your host, Craig, and as always, you are most welcome here on the Anfield Agenda YouTube channel. Apologies for the delay in starting tonight, but we were recording this week's Cop Council podcast. I had an absolute blast on it. It was myself, Daz, Tom, and Chris, and that's going to be out across all platforms tomorrow, so keep an eye out for it. But as always, this is your show. You guys come up with the agenda. Let me know what you want to talk about. I see the chat filling up already, so I'm going to pop over, say hello to the guys in there, and see what topics they want to talk about, what LFC matters are pressing for them, and how happy are they. Louis, Prez, Kieran, Dave, Ben, Leighton, hello, good evening to you all. What do you want to talk about? Ben said my favourite bald man, which I'm taking as a compliment, Ben, mate. I'm not going to lie. I'll have it. Any little compliment that comes my way, mate, I'll have it. I like to have the ego stroked from time to time. Gents, I'm still on a buzz from that SHAQIRI goal last night, and I can see in the chat that some of you are as well. I've watched it over and over and over again, and it doesn't get any worse. The goal was absolute belter. Really, really enjoyed it. I also enjoyed Mourinho's sour puss as well, if I'm being honest, but you know, it doesn't get any better. The Reds got through that American leg of the pre-season tour. Pretty much no injuries. It all went to plan. They're off to France for a few days now. And then, of course, they're coming over to Ireland. Beautiful Dublin, the beautiful Aviva Stadium, to play Napoli in what looks like it's going to be a very good, attractive game of football. Ben said, SHAQIRI in the 10 after last night looks very good for me. And Ben, mate, I don't think you're on your own. I think a lot of people have similar opinions to you. A lot of people think that he could do a job in that 10. And it's too early for us to really say after half a game. I mean, yes, he scored an amazing goal. Yes, he looked very bright. He was showing for the ball all the time. He looked like he wanted it. He looked like he was happy to be at Liverpool. But after one game, it's a little bit too early for us to tell. But what we can say is it looks promising, and that's a good sign. Owen Sheriff said Liverpool for the Premier League. Oh mate, I sincerely hope you're right. Nothing would make me happier. Thomas says, is it true Fekir is signing on the 9th of August? There was something that I think Oulas put out, and by the way, on this channel we like to call Oulas Johnny Cuntylocks. I believe there was something Mr. Cuntylocks put out to say that the 9th of August is going to be a big day for Nabil Fekir, something like that if memory serves me correct, but I don't know, mate. I don't know. I hope so. I'd love to see either him or Christian Pulisic get done before the season starts. Prez reckons that Mourinho, or Moninho, as Prez has called him, has lost the dressing room. Interestingly, on that one, Prez, mate, I seen something from Paddy Power earlier on that said they already have Mourinho as the favourite to be the first manager to leave his position next season. Now, whether that's sacked or walk away, I don't know. But they've installed Mauricio Pochettino as the 4-1 favourite to take over from Mourinho, so interesting stuff there. Dave said that Gark the Tollbridge was going mad. I love that name, by the way. Gark the Trollbridge, excuse me. Tollbridge says no. Trollbridge, you're spot on. He was going mad. And look, I've seen a few of his videos since. I did take a moment to look through Twitter, and oh, God love him. Mammy's special little soldier was really losing the plot last night. Samian said, Craig, Real Madrid and Bayern are both interested in Christian Pulisic. And look, Samian, mate, I'd love to come on and say you're wrong, but you're not. You're spot on. Real Madrid, as Evan pointed out to us recently, have kind of changed the way they're going about transfers now. They're looking to get the brightest young things in rather than going out and signing the Galacticos that we're used to seeing them signing. And it's, you know, it would be no secret that Bayern Munich would be interested in him. They've seen him play. They know what he's about. They know he's used to the German league. And Bayern do like to buy up the best players in that league. But there seems to be something there, doesn't there? Between him and Klopp, maybe even between him and Liverpool. There seems to be something there. And I think that we may have an ace up our sleeve with that transfer if, of course, we go ahead with it or if we look to do it. Connor said, not sure if it happened to anybody else, but the audio is out of sync. If it happens, just refresh the page and it'll fix it. So was Connor saying, if anyone's audio is out of sync, just refresh your page and it fixes the issue. I don't know if it has happened to anybody else. Let me know if it has. It's all Connor's fault. You guys know the rules by now. If anything goes wrong, it's Connor's fault. If anything goes well, it's completely down to me. That's the way it works on the channel, I'm afraid. Daryl said Pulisic is linked with Chelsea as well. I can't see him going there though, Daryl, mate. I mean, maybe I'm just being a bit optimistic, but they look like a club that are in trouble to me. And of the options that Christian Pulisic would have available to him, it just seems mad for me that he'd even consider Chelsea. But look, maybe I'm being completely biased. Paul is in. Good evening, Paul. Thank you for joining. Crosby Red is in. Good evening to you. great to see all our regulars in, but you know what? It's great to see some new names in the chat as well. I know we had a big night last night, guys. 25,000 people viewed last night's stream on a YouTube channel. 25,000. That absolutely blows my bald head. 25,000 people was brilliant. I think we got 300 subs last night as well. It was an amazing night for us, and thank you guys so much to everyone that tuned in and watched it with us. It was a great experience. It was a great game as well. Look, it's pre-season, but to bang 4 in against United any day of the week is pretty good. Wayne said, "Hi Craig, Liverpool fans in Jamaica love the SHAQIRI goal." Thank you for joining, Wayne. Great to have you on, buddy. That goal though. That goal. I mean, you knew it was a gift immediately, but wow, what a goal. What a goal. Ant is in, good evening, Ant. Kieran is in. Kieran said, Pulisic is a Scumchester fan. I don't think that matters though, Kieran, mate, anymore. We've seen time and time again players who have been fans of clubs go on and play for other clubs. I mean, honestly, hand on heart, Kieran, if you were looking at the two clubs now and you had two managers there, you had Jose Mourinho and you had Jurgen Klopp, who would you want to go and play for with the style of football that you like playing? If you're Christian Pulisic, who would you look towards now? It seems like a clear choice to me, and look, I am biased. There's no two ways about that, but you know, I'd imagine that we would certainly be favourites over them for Christian Pulisic. I don't know about Real Madrid. I honestly don't know how the guy feels about Real Madrid, but I'd back us to attract him over pretty much any other English club anyway. Drew said the big difference is Bayern and Real don't have Klopp, which is true. And Drew, do you know what, mate? I thank my lucky stars every day that Jurgen Klopp is the manager of Liverpool Football Club. I still can't believe it. I still pinch myself. I'm over the moon. LJW said, who's better, Rashford or Pulisic? I'd say Pulisic, but I'm not going to slag off Rashford because I think Rashford is a very, very good footballer who's been completely mismanaged at Manchester United and his confidence looks shot. But I think he is a very good footballer. Louis said, Jose was so disrespectful to some of his youth team yesterday. He's actually lost it. He really has. He just looks miserable. From day one, Jose has looked miserable in that job. And I don't know why, because let's be honest, managing Manchester United should be right up there at the pinnacle of world football for managers. Like, I mean, we mightn't like to say it, but it is true, as I would include managing Liverpool is. He's managed Real Madrid, he managed Porto. Obviously, he's had some big jobs, but he hasn't looked comfortable in this job since day one. I obviously don't know how Manchester United fans feel about it because I don't really interact with them too much, but from the outside, he doesn't look happy, which is a fucking great thing to see, by the way. Smittens is there straight in with Raiders of the Lost Ark. I've been trying to think of some more of them all day, but we'll get to them a little bit later on. Let's have a little chat about the Liverpool season ahead and what we're expecting. I have a few things about outgoing transfers as well that I wanted to talk to you guys about a little bit later on. Nothing major, just more of the youth players, some players that you'd expect to maybe be moving on as well. I suppose the first one we could really have a chat about is that Liverpool have agreed a fee of £3.5 million for Pedro Chirivella with Rosenborg, which is interesting. It's not a huge amount of money, but we have included a buyback clause, which is something we've seen Liverpool do more and more. I don't know how I feel about this one. I really don't. I think Chirivella has all the qualities to be a really good six, and £3.5 million, I don't know, are we going to look at it like a loan perhaps and see if he does progress, he does do well for Rosenborg, that we bring him back in? It just seems a strange one to me. But look, I'm not going to lie and say I've followed Chirivella's career closely. I haven't. I've only seen him really on the pre-season tour and on a couple of occasions throughout the season. But £3.5 million, I'm just grateful we have a buyback clause because the young guy's only 21 years of age, and I think he has a big career ahead of him. But the club are being very clever about how we're doing things lately. I like the way we're including buyback clauses, even if it perhaps does get us a few quid less for the players we're moving on to kind of compensate for this buyback clause. But we've seen it included with Jordan Ibe as well, and I don't think we'll be exercising that one anytime soon. But I just want to see what you guys think of Chirivella, and I'm going to go back now and read through some of the comments. Drew said Chirivella needs game time in the first team, which is a fair point. Cryptic Gaming said, what's the difference between Mourinho and God? God doesn't think he's Mourinho. That's a good one, mate. Fair play. Gary says, "Hi Craig, just about to tuck into a sausage and tomato sandwich, still celebrating Shaqiri's super goal." As are many of us, Gary, mate, it was an absolute belter. LFC owned Sheriff says Pedro deserves first team football, and I wouldn't deny him that. It just Rosenberg for me just seemed a strange move all around, but it is what it is. I'm sure the young guy knows what he's doing. I'm sure the club have looked at this as well and thought that it makes sense for them. Andrej is in. Good evening, mate. Great to have you back in again. And Prez asks, has Abramovich gotten back into the country yet? I honestly don't know, Prez. The last I heard about Roman Abramovich was that he had taken up Israeli citizenship and that he had a 6-month visa to the UK, but he couldn't work on that visa. And that's the last I heard about the whole situation with Roman Abramovich, because, not being a Chelsea fan, it doesn't really interest me that much. Only from an outsider's point of view, pointing a finger and then laughing at them. Louis talking about another young red who looks like he might be on the way out on loan as well, and that is of course Ben Woodburn. And we've seen linked tonight that Aston Villa are interested in bringing young Ben Woodburn in on loan. It seems that he's not going to travel over to France with the first team. He's going to stay in England and look to maybe finalise that loan move through to Aston Villa, who have of course sorted out their money issues recently with the takeover. So yeah, maybe that's a good move for young Ben Woodburn. Villa will be there or thereabouts in the Championship next season, so yeah, a decent level for him to be playing at, getting football week in, week out. Look, I know Klopp definitely thinks highly of Ben Woodburn. We heard him say that Ben Woodburn is back, kind of in air quotes there, that he's back at his best and he's looking good. I think it's probably the right thing from, if I'm being honest. I think his time at Liverpool will be severely limited this season. We've strengthened quite a lot, and for him to move out and get game time, it'll give Klopp a better look at him and see what he really is capable of at a decent level. Imran, Fabinho, Keita, Mane, Salah, Firmino, Shaqiri. Excuse me. Gareth Mulbridge said the ref was a Liverpool fan. By the way, any of our mods that see this Gareth Mulbridge in here, but he is our Gareth Mulbridge, so there's no need to. He's one of us. He's a good lad. He's just in here. He's our own little parody, Gareth, and we do love him. So you're welcome, Gareth. You're always welcome in here, buddy. And the ref wasn't a Liverpool fan, Gareth. You know better than that, buddy. Malga said, I want to see Salah, Mane and Shaqiri front three in the next game with Alisson. I'm really looking forward to seeing Alisson, guys. I cannot wait. You've seen the little message from him on Instagram that said he's on the way over. His first game looks like it's going to be in Dublin, in my hometown, against Napoli, and that makes me really happy that I can always say his first ever game was in Dublin, where I'm from. I can't wait to go up to the game. As I said to you guys yesterday, we were lucky enough, we're after getting a couple of media passes to that game. It's the second year in a row we've been fortunate enough to be in that position. I still don't know if we're going to be able to have a watch along for the Napoli game. I think I may have a solution. I'm working on it. I'm looking to confirm it. And hopefully you will be able to come on to the Anfield Agenda YouTube channel and have a bit of a watch along. And we will have a host here ready to do it for you. We're working on it at the minute. I'm trying my best. Nathan said, hit that like button. And just touching on that subject, Nathan, last night we broke all type of records on the channel. And I know we're not around that long, but I think it was 350 likes or something like that, or thumbs up last night. 25,000 views. It was just, the numbers were crazy. 300 subscriptions last night. It was absolutely nuts, and it wouldn't happen without you absolute superstars. So thank you for that one from the bottom of my bald Irish heart. Thank you for that one. It means so much to us. It was the talk of our entire WhatsApp group today. All the Anfield Agenda guys couldn't believe the numbers we got last night. They couldn't believe how great you guys were at supporting us, keeping us going, growing the channel. It means so much to us, and I just want to say thank you yet again. Ahmed said, hello my Irish friend, how's life treating you? What a goal from Big Shaq. It was outstanding. It really was, buddy. I mean, we've said it time and time again, but we're going to keep saying it. It was absolutely fantastic. And what is it about that number 23? I seen something in the Echo earlier on. They were showing, so SHAQIRI scored a beauty at number 23. Obviously we had Emre Can scoring that belter against Watford. There was a couple of times that we had Robbie Fowler in 23 scoring them. And then of course we had Jamie Carragher in the number 23 booting the Everton player about 20 feet into the sky as well. So what is it about overheads and scissors kicks for that number 23? But you couldn't have asked for a better introduction. If you're a player, your first game, Yeah, you want to go out, you want to put minutes in, you want to look well, but to cap your first game with a goal like that, he is going to go into the new season full of confidence, and it's the best we could have hoped for. I'm so happy about that one. And I was very impressed, very impressed with Sheridan Shaqiri. It's too early to say how good he will or won't be at Liverpool, but it was a great start, and I'm really looking forward to seeing some more of him. We should try and get Maguire and give Origi and Ings on loan, 35 million. We're not going to loan Origi, Abraham, mate. I've said this before. He's only got 1 year left on his contract. So the only way we might loan Origi is if we were to re-sign him up on another deal. And honestly, I can't see the club doing that because he's not good enough. Hand on heart, I just don't think he's good enough. Danny Ings looks like he wants to go, and you couldn't begrudge the guy to move. He's had an awful time with injuries. Seems like an outstanding, really good young man. I say young, he's younger than me, so that's why I'm going to call him young. And you wouldn't begrudge him a move to get his career back on track. Maguire, I can't see Liverpool going out and spending 65 million quid on a centre back. It seems Kloppo has said that we're not going to do any business in the centre back position. He thinks that Joe Gomez is plenty of cover there, and obviously we've seen young Nate Phillips as well, has been tremendous in pre-season. So you know what, maybe Kloppo's right. Let's give these guys a chance to prove themselves. They haven't let us down in pre-season. It is only pre-season, but the likes of Nate Phillips, Jones, Chiravella to an extent, Camacho, Queeveen Kelleher. I mean, we could go on and on and on. I think our young guys have done us proud in this pre-season, and it's very good that we can look to the future like that and see that we have decent players coming through, honest to God players who could make it in the Premier League. I'm really happy, guys. This pre-season, yes, we got beaten by Borussia Dortmund, but pushing that to one side, I don't care about the results. I only care about the way we play, getting minutes in the legs, and how everybody's looking. And this Liverpool squad are looking like they have a swagger. They've got a bounce in their step. They all want the same things. Even Danny Sturridge is looking back to the old Danny Sturridge. And what a time to be a Red. What a time to be a Red. Imagine the contrast between us lot now and the Manx over there, how they must be feeling. It's about fucking time we had this feeling, guys. Enjoy it, because we deserve it as a bunch of fans. What else have we got? Long live King Mo said there'd be a meltdown on here if West Ham beat us. Don't think that way. Don't even entertain it, buddy. Let's just assume we're going into that game full on swagger. We're going to go out there, do our thing, and if we do our thing, we're capable of blowing anybody away. And we've looked sharp in pre-season. Mo looks sharp, Sadio looks sharp. Obviously I'll talk about studs. We've seen last night SHAQIRI come in. He looks hungry. Klopp said that he wanted to cut short his holiday and come back early, and Klopp made him go and have his holiday. This is a team that are hungry. This is a team that feel like there's something special brewing here. So I think we're going to start the season in great form. I really do. Very optimistic about this year. Fabinho last night has been what we've been missing in central defensive mid. He's a don. He looks great, and I said a lot of people think that he hasn't had a great pre-season, which I disagree with. I think a good performance from Fabinho was when you don't notice him on the pitch, because he's doing all the things right. Nothing too dramatic, no last stage tackles, not getting booked for silly fouls. He's doing his job properly, he's reading the game well, he's cutting the things out he needs to, he's playing simple passes, and he's doing everything that we need a central defensive mid to do. So, like you, Graham, Drew Graham, I think he's done quite well in pre-season. I'm not going to say he's lit the world on fire, but I've been quietly impressed, and he's only going to get better and better. Kieran said Bobby is back next game. It's not a party till Bobby shows up, is it? Flashing those pearly whites, full on mink coat, baseball cap, balls out Bobby. You gotta love Bobby Firmino, and that's just another quality player to come back. We've got obviously Hendo to come back, Trent to come back as well. The list just keeps growing and growing, and we've seen the performances they're putting in pre-season without these guys. Keita as well. We haven't seen Keita for the last couple of games because of the neck strain. Guys, this is just going to get better and better and better. Louis said, do you think Keita will play next week against Napoli? Genuinely, I do. Obviously, I can't say for certain because I don't know what type of stage his injury's at, but I hope he does. I hope he plays. I hope Alisson plays. And I'm sure we're going to see a great game of football next week, because Napoli play football the right way as well. I know they have a new manager at the minute. Carlo Ancelotti plays a decent style of football, to be fair, so I'm expecting an open, expansive game. maybe 60 minutes for the players that are looking like they might start the following week in the Premier League. But I certainly think he'll get a little bit more than the two separate teams of 45. Samian said, I love Curtis Jones. What's your thoughts about him? Mate, I have to be honest here. Before the pre-season, I wouldn't have had a thought about Curtis Jones in my head whatsoever. He wouldn't have been somebody I would have thought of at all. But having watched him in pre-season, he has been really impressive. Probably the standout performer for me of the young guys during the pre-season, probably followed by Camacho. He's been brilliant. He really has staked a claim to be included in this first team squad going forward next season, and I don't think Klopp will ignore that. You know Klopp likes to give the young guys a chance, and if they prove themselves, he keeps them there. So Curtis Jones deserves his chance at some point. I don't know when that will be, but he certainly deserves to be in the conversation, and he's done his career no harm whatsoever with his performances during pre-season. Pepper Red said, I went on Splinter Cell on the United stand earlier, and they totally realise it's a code red situation over there. They were so upset that you got no abuse from them. Oh, things must be bad over there, to be fair. If they couldn't even muster up a bit of abuse for you. God love you, mate. I mean, if it makes you feel any better, we can throw a bit of abuse your way on here. Only joking, but of course we won't do that to one of our own. Prez said, Studge to bang in 20 this season. Nothing would make me happier, Prez, mate. Love Studge. Had him written off in my head as well, but do love Danny Sturridge. If he can prove his fitness, we're going to get a good season out of him. Damo said, just heard that Jose has landed a book deal, his new book called Dummy's Guide to Shit Excuses. Hopefully he pays a tribute to all his crap overpaid players without whom his book wouldn't have been possible. You know what, look, I don't really want to keep going back to Mourinho because I hate bringing the stream to a negative when we want to be so positive on here and enjoy what we're seeing in front of our eyes, but he is some piece of work, Jose, he really is. Malgus said, Klopp said there is no one on the market better than Gomez, so Klopp will get someone if someone that has the required talent becomes available, so I'm not worried. Would love to see Arsenal beat Manchester City. That's an interesting game for the first game of the season. It's tough to gauge how it's going to go, but you'd imagine City would certainly hit the ground running. But yeah, I mean, if we can start the season, if they get a draw and we get 3 points, I mean, it's the first blow struck for us, isn't it? And what's going to be a long season, so we're just going to have to wait and see how it goes. We've an incredible squad for once, says Lalu. We really do. Cryptic Gaming said, Messi or Ronaldo? Messi every single day of the week for me, mate. Without even a shadow of doubt. I think Lionel Messi is infinitely better than Cristiano Ronaldo. Where I think Ronaldo probably has the edge is I think he works harder than Messi. I think he's worked harder on his career to get to where he is than Messi. Messi seems the more naturally gifted footballer. But yeah, I'd have Messi over Ronaldo personally. Just my opinion though. What else have we got? Matt Hantu said, play Sturridge and SHAQIRI equals SAS and FA Cup and Carabao Cup games. Play Mane, Firmino and Salah in league games and the Champions League. It's great to have these options. It really is, guys. It's great to have them. What else have we got? Neil Anthony said, Craig, if Dortmund want 70 million euros for Pulisic, then he's the better option. Imagine the pace of Salah and Pulisic on the wings with Mane in behind Firmino and in behind them Keita again. You know how I feel about Christian Pulisic, but I do see what Nabil Fekir would bring to this team in an immediate sense. So I get where people are coming from, but either or, if we're being honest, either or would be a wonderful addition to this squad. Nathan said, Lovren suits the Craig. He does look well balled, to be fair, and he's welcome to the club. He realised just how much hard work it is being balled, actually, mate, because you think it's easy, but it's not. I have to shave my head every single day of the week, and it's much more work than if I had a head of hair. What would you like to see from Salah this season, and can he win the Ballon d'Or this time? Well, look, the Ballon d'Or is obviously based on last season, but he has to be in the conversation. he has to be in the conversation because he was as good as anybody last season. He really was. And yes, Cristiano Ronaldo may get it because Real Madrid won the Champions League, but if he's not at least in the final three, then it's a fucking travesty and it's an absolute joke. Because I think Mo Salah was sensational, absolutely sensational last season. Kieran said, I think we should play 4-2-3-1 with Sturridge playing in front of the three. I've heard a couple of people say something similar, Kieran, and I can understand the thinking behind it. You think of maybe Hendo and Fabinho in that too, and then who are we going to play in the three of them? Well, you've said there basically, you said Sturridge in front of the three. It'll be interesting to see, but we haven't really seen Klopp play with the system too much during pre-season, so I don't know. I honestly don't know what to expect. But do you think we can play 4-4-2 with Bobby and Sturridge up top with Keita in the middle? I don't know about a 4-4-2, as in a straight 4-4-2, Thomas, because I think it's too restrictive of the way we want to play. But the players we have are capable of playing any system. That's the thing. We've so many players who can play a variety of positions, and I think that's why Klopp brought in some of these players. Wijnaldum can play a variety of positions. Hendo can play deeper or more forward. Keita can do the same. Obviously, Firmino can play pretty much anywhere. Salah can play wide through the centre, as can Mane. SHAQIRI as well. We've seen him drop in and play it in behind last night. He can play wide. So I think we can vary our system if needs be. I'd just be interested to see what Klopp does, because I often think we get caught up in formations at times, and this Liverpool team can be very fluid and players can change around and wander in and out of positions, and everybody seems to know where they're supposed to be. So if Mane wanders through the centre, then somebody else knows they need to come out to the left to fill that space. So I think it's going to be interesting, as I keep saying, but I honestly don't know. Yes to every question, because I think we're capable of playing almost any style of football in any formation. Cryptic Gaming said, what did Mane sign? How long? No idea, buddy. I'd imagine it's 4 to 5 years. The club usually just say long-term contract. When does Firmino come back and start training? He's on his way back, as is Alisson, so he will be back. He'll be ready to train over in France. So I think he's meeting up with the guys for the French training camp, and we'll probably see him get some minutes against Napoli next week. Although I don't know how many, because he is behind the rest in the pre-season, so he may just get a few minutes towards the end. Okay, what else have we got? Mbappe is better than Salah. Yeah, he probably is. I'm not going to lie, but I don't think he had a better season last season than Salah. He's a better footballer than Salah. He'll have a higher ceiling than Salah, and he will no doubt go on to win Ballon d'Ors and be the best footballer in the world. But last season, I think Salah had a better season. PSG didn't do much in Europe. They did what they usually do. They get knocked out and flatter to deceive. Yeah, he may have done really well in the French league, but Neymar was undoubtedly the star of that PSG team with regards to goals and stuff. So if he wasn't the best in his own team, if he didn't shine in his own team, how can he possibly go on and be the best player in Europe this season? That's all I'm saying there, Angus, mate. I do agree with you. He will be better than Salah. He may even be on his day better than Salah. But last season, Mo Salah, and that's what the Ballon d'Or is. That's what we're voting on. Was the last season. The Mo Salah for me was head and shoulders above Mbappe last year. The child who lives in a bin said, how do you think Liverpool will line up? It's tough to say. I mean, in what game? If we're talking about the first game of the season against West Ham, Alisson, I don't know about Klein with the baby. See, I really don't know. So we'll say Klein or Trent. Van Dijk. Again, it depends if Matip is fit. If Matip is fit, I'd imagine maybe Matip will start alongside Van Dijk, although Gomez could do it as well. Obviously, Andy Robertson at left back. Fabinho, Keita, probably Gini Wijnaldum will be my guess there, because of the full pre-season that he's had and Hendo coming back late. And then the front three, possibly see Mane, Salah And I wouldn't be surprised to see Sturridge through the centre ahead of Bobby, although I suppose it depends how Bobby comes back and how Klopp views him, and what the medical science team have to say, because look, he's a fit young man. He'll want to play, but will Klopp risk him that early into the season? I don't know. With such a short pre-season, it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I reckon that's what we'll go with roughly. Let me know what you think in the chat. Let me know what you guys are expecting to see us line up as in the first day of the season. Louis said, Craig, I don't know if Christian Pulisic is worth €75 million. He scored 5 goals last season when the Fekir scored 22 goals, and he's a central attacking midfielder. He's also performed well out in Europe. I think the thing about Pulisic though is his ceiling, mate. He didn't have the greatest season last year. You're absolutely spot on. Neither did Dortmund though, to be fair. I think what you're buying there with Pulisic is potential as well. And let's be honest, we don't like talking about this, but marketability, that 75 million quid will be bought back in very quickly with merchandise sales, with names on the backs of shirts, with the sponsorship opportunities he opens up in the American market for us. He's the poster boy of the American men's national team, so I think you have to include all that in the price tag, as much as we as football fans don't want to believe it. And we just want to look at it from a purely playing perspective, but clubs don't look at it that way, I'm afraid. Junior said, I think Fabinho's had a great pre-season, Craig. Just the player we were missing. Makes the defensive duties look easy. And as I said earlier on, mate, I do agree with you. Samian said, Craig, you can't compare Ronaldo and Messi to Mbappe when they were 19. Messi and Ronaldo were ballistic when they were 19. I look, I don't want to really discuss that, I suppose, but I don't want to underplay how good Mbappe is either. As I've said earlier on, I've no doubt Mbappe is going to go on and win Ballon d'Ors. For me, he is the next greatest footballer on the planet. And I'm including Neymar in that because I really don't like Neymar one bit. I hate the way he's wasting his talent. Somebody asking, has it been announced that Mane signed a new 5-year deal? I honestly don't know, unless it's been announced recently, because I have been recording podcasts today, so I'm a little bit behind. But do you know what? I'm going to jump on while we're on the stream here. I'm going to jump on the Liverpool site and see if it has been announced, so bear with me. Sorry for the silence, guys, just bear with me 1 second. No, nothing on the site about it, so no announcement yet from the club about that new deal. If we had Coutinho back, that would be so sick. Fuck Coutinho is my answer to that. With all due respect, fuck Coutinho. He made his decision to leave, and yeah, he can stand over his decision and live in Barcelona like he wanted to. We're doing just fine without him, thank you very much. And of course, I'm not having a dig at you there, my friend. I'm just talking about Coutinho. Louis gone for 3-1 to Liverpool against Napoli, which is a nice prediction. I'd like to keep a clean sheet though for Alisson's first game. Junior's gone for 4-0, which I'm liking. I'm taking the 4-0. So is Bill. Or is that Bill or Blee? Blee Neto, sorry. 4-0 for him as well. Or her. Actually, I don't know if you're male or female, so apologies on that one, just assuming. Gary reckons that Mbappe will rule the footballing world in the future. Neymar should be a goalkeeper because he likes diving. I fucking hate. Do you know what? I hate that guy. I really do. I respect his footballing ability, but I hate everything else about him. And I mean everything else about him. Michael Marley said, how are we, Craig? So happy with SHAQIRI. I think a lot of people are, Michael. It was certainly a great start to his Liverpool career. Just as we move on, guys, we're only half an hour into the stream, but I want to again remind you guys to make sure you take the time to enter our competition. We've got a competition in association with our friends at soccerlord.se. You've got a chance to win one of 5 Liverpool home shirts. Look in the stream notes, all the information is there. I'll go over to the Anfield Agenda or Twitter channel at Anfield Agenda. Look at our pinned tweet on there and you'll see all the information. Just retweet that and that'll get you into a draw to win one of 2 of those 5 shirts. So All the info's in the stream notes. Just have a look. Don't miss out on your chance to win one of 5 shirts. 13 million bargain, says Smitten for SHAQIRI. He really is. It's an absolute bargain. That's all I keep saying. It is a bargain. 13 million. If he hadn't got that clause in his contract, he surely is a £25 million footballer. Maybe even a little bit more. Cameron said, is Fekir not happening then? Klopp and Co will be in France. I say this over and over, mate. I don't know. I'm hoping, like the rest of us, that something gets done. Whether it be Fekir or whether it be Pulisic, I don't know. If I was to guess at one of them, I'd say Fekir, because I think there's been so much work put in on that deal that it's more likely. I would have thought maybe we were thinking about Pulisic next season, but maybe with the interest that's come on from Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, then maybe the club think they have to act a little bit quicker. I honestly don't know. Fekir will be ours by Wednesday, said Steve. Steve loves a good Fekir Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'll forgive you for all of them, Steve, if he does sign eventually. Baron Gaming said you look like Jose Reyna. A few people have said that to me, mate. I'm his fatter, more balder cousin. Well, no, actually, fuck that. Reyna defo is bald, whereas I'm really not bald. So, but I'll take it. As I said, I'll take it before. Lalu said, I really like Ojo. He's brilliant with a cool head. The club have put a price on his head, actually. Speaking about Ojo's head, I think somewhere between 12 and 15 million will be enough to move on Shea Ojo. So it'll be interesting to see if somebody does come in for him. We'd seen links to, who was that was linked to him recently? I can't remember who was linked to Shea Ojo recently, but somebody was in talks about a 15 million quid deal for him. So it'll be interesting to see if he is still here at the start of the season. Steve reckons that FSG are in a now or never situation with Pulisic, and it will help us grow in the US market, mate. There's no surer thing than that. It really is a now or never thing. I think you're right. I really do. I don't think anybody can hang off till next summer for this one, because it seems to be heating up. David said, we'll be off to Montenegro in a few hours, but won't sleep because I love the content and we'll watch Craig when on holidays. Great channel, buddy. Thank you so much, David. Really, thank you. It means a lot, buddy. I want to say as well, and I don't want to embarrass anybody on here, because I know some people like to do things quietly, but we did get sent a really, really nice gift by somebody yesterday, and I know we spoke about the Anfield Agenda YouTube channel before and what we're doing, and we're building a website and we're doing all these other little bits and pieces to try and improve the content, and you guys see me occasionally mention Patreon and PayPal and stuff like that and joke about maybe buying Connor a pint and all these nice things, but we received a really generous gift last night from somebody who's clearly a big fan of what we're doing on here, and that alone is amazing to know that people enjoy what we're doing. But we did receive a gift that will help us to push on, and it gave us a great boost in confidence, if nothing else, just to know that people believe in what we're doing. As I said, I don't want to embarrass the person by mentioning their name on here, because I don't feel that's right to do, but I just want to say he knows who he is. I just want to say a massive thank you. And if anybody else does, if anybody wants to buy Connor a pint or wants to jump on and maybe help us push that channel on a little bit, as I said time and time again, you can go on to patreon.com/Anfield Agenda, and you can sort it out on there. You can do it on a monthly basis, or if you want to just do it as a once off, go on to PayPal, paypal.com/Anfield Agenda. No, it's not, it's paypal.me/Talk of the Terrace, excuse me. Or if you just want to do, if you have a PayPal account like me and you're used to sending money around, you can just go on to PayPal and put in the email address, which is AnfieldAgenda@outlook.com. But as I said, I just want to say a massive thank you. And again, to the people that joined the stream last night, 25,000 people watching our stream last night. Absolute quality. Somebody else mentioned the deal to take young Ben Woodburn to Aston Villa, which I think is a good move. I think it is. Particularly on loan, I'd be very pissed off if we were moving him on and getting rid of him fully, but on loan I think it's a good move. Dora Fearon reckons we need Zaha. He's like SHAQIRI, he's more talented but can also play in the striker and winger. He has pace, power, and Klopp likes him. or that Klopp, he has the pace and power that Klopp likes. Excuse me. 70 million quid though. 70 million quid is a lot of money. Excuse me, hitting off my mic and all here. 70 million quid is a lot of money. I just don't know if Wilfried Zaha is worth 70 million quid. And I do agree he's a very good footballer. And he certainly would have an impact, but 70 million quid is a lot of money. Crosby Red said the 2019 Champions League final is in Spain. If memory serves me correct, it's in the Wanda Metropolitano Stadium, or Atletico's new stadium. So would love to knock out Real in their own backyard. I'd love us to get to that Champions League final because, as I said, I've been to Istanbul, I've been to Athens. I didn't get over last year to the Champions League final, so it would be so much handier to get to Madrid to get to a Champions League final. It would be so much easier than some of the treks our fans have had to make over the past 3 finals. So, like you, Crosby Red, I would love Liverpool to get to Madrid into that Champions League final. Habib thinks Liverpool will win the Champions League in 2019 and will beat Barcelona and Real Madrid along the way, which is absolutely quality. I'll have that every day of the week. Fuck Coutinho, bang, there you go. Fuck you, Ramos, bang, there you go. Deal with that. Louis saying Camacho isn't even a right back and he's been that good. Yeah, is he a mid? He's a defensive mid, is that right, or is he attacking mid? I don't know that much about Camacho. Obviously, we've seen him at right back in pre-season and he's looked tremendous. But yeah, what a talent! What a talent! No Diet Coke today, Craig, said Cameron. Cameron, don't be silly. Don't be silly, mate. You know I've got Diet Coke on the go. It wouldn't be a Craig stream without some Diet Chav. I just have it in this cup, my Tato Park cup. But yeah, there's always Diet Chav on the go in here. You should know that, Cameron, mate. I'd be going into withdrawal symptoms if I didn't have my Diet Chav lying around. Baron Gaming said Mignolet might move to Fenerbahce. I sincerely hope so, buddy. I sincerely hope we get him the fuck out of Liverpool Football Club. I am sick of looking at Mignolet's head. Yeah, good riddance is all I can say for that one. And he's, as people know me on here, I don't talk shit about other Liverpool players. It's only Mignolet. And yeah, the sooner the better he fucks off to Turkey in my eyes. He could be converted into a right back in our squad, the junior reckons about Camacho. Cobra saying, isn't it in Atletico Madrid's home ground, the Champions League final? It is, and I'm not even going to try and say the name of it again because I think I made a bollocks of it the first time. But yeah, it's in Atletico's new stadium and it'll be lovely to get there. Oh, actually, do you know what? I need to get your opinion on something, guys, and I'd like your opinion on it. So, I told you that we were fortunate enough to get media passes to the game against Napoli next week, but that was a kind of like a double header thing. You applied for the passes. If you got the passes, you got the passes to that game. But also on Wednesday in Dublin, Chelsea are playing Arsenal in the Aviva Stadium in Dublin, so we got tickets to that as part of the package that we applied for. So I want to know, what do you guys think I should do? Should I go on up to the game, which would mean I'm not doing a stream, or should I say fuck the game and come on here and do a stream on Wednesday and just worry about Saturday then? I'd love your opinion because I don't know what to do about it. I'm in two minds. I'm on a roll now. I think I've been doing streams for something like 26, 27 days in a row. So I don't want to fuck that one up, although it will be fucked up on Saturday because there's nothing I can do about that one. The channel will stream, but it won't be me on here. But yeah, let me know, what do you think I should do? Should I ditch the Chelsea against Arsenal game and come on here and chat to you guys, or should I go up and, you know, have a pre-season game and see what the other two teams are up to? And I will get, of course, a bump into the guys from Arsenal Fan TV as well, because I know they're going to be at the game. Cryptic Heyman said, why do I not like Mignolet? Many, many, many reasons. I don't like the look of him, if that makes I don't like his head. His head particularly annoys me, but he just seems like a figurehead for everything that's frustrated me in the past 5 years of being a Liverpool fan. Pre-Klopp, I should say. Although he's frustrated me under Klopp, but he's not a Klopp player, so I don't hold that one against Klopp. I just see him as a monument to everything that frustrated me, mate, and I just really despise the guy. Everything about the guy annoys me. The way he can't kick a ball, the way he looks to blame everybody else when he makes a mistake and gets angry and starts pointing fingers and shouting, the way he cannot decide what style of play he wants to play as a goalkeeper, and mostly, I've never seen a goalkeeper collect the ball and pretend to kick it out so many times, act as if he's going to move the ball quickly and then not distribute the ball and end up staying there and letting the opposition set themselves. That one thing alone pissed me off more than anything I've ever seen from a goalkeeper before, because he did it time and time and time again. He'd catch the ball from across, look to set a quick attack, and then just hold back and do nothing with it. And that pisses me off. Really pisses me off. Charlie said, we're only 20 subs away from 2.4k, which is nuts as well, considering yesterday we were at 2030 something at one point. So yeah, if you're watching the stream, give us a hand out there, hit that subscribe button, help us push on, hit 2.4, and you know what, we don't know where we're going to go from there, guys, but to get to 2.4 this quickly is amazing. So if you are watching, you are enjoying the stream, firstly, jump into the chat, because we'd love to get to know you. So if you are watching and you haven't yet come into the chat or posted a question, please do so. You're all welcome in here, the more the merrier. We like to touch base with as many reds as we can. But if you are watching, you're enjoying it, just hit that subscribe button. Also give us a thumbs up, because what that does is that gets us suggested to other users. So by people giving us thumbs up or subscribing to the channel and stuff like that, particularly on a live stream, it gets YouTube to suggest us to other users, which gets us to meet more reds, which gets us to grow the channel, which, you know, is a win-win for us. So as I said, if you are watching, if you can take a minute to do so, that would be much appreciated. Craig Donnelly says, where from Dublin are you, or where in Dublin are you from? I think he says, I'm from Drimnagh. I am from the furthest point south in Dublin, mate, that you can think of. I'm from SHAQIRI, so the very, very, very far side of Dublin. So yeah, completely opposite side to you. I'm from SHAQIRI, the very last part of Dublin before you get to Bray. So I'm almost like a Dublin culture, Craig, you could say, mate. But I've been to Drimnagh Castle a few times, particularly when I was playing Gaelic with school. But yeah, not too far though. Dublin's a small enough place, but yeah, very, very south side. Kieran said, go to the game and enjoy yourself. You can always stream another time. Kev said, go to the game, have a break, enjoy the footy. Interesting. Thank you, guys. I still don't know what I'm going to do, but thank you, guys. I just, knowing you guys wouldn't be pissed off if we took the night off is actually a really relieving thing. But yeah, I don't know. It is a bit of a trip up to Dublin to watch the game. And I don't know if I really want to watch Arsenal and Chelsea, but I'd probably make a late decision on it. But it's always great to bounce things off other people and get some feedback, so thank you for that one. Paul said you deserve a break, mate. Anfield Agenda will still be around when you come back. Well, I'm definitely going to have that break next Saturday, Paul, for the Napoli game. I'm looking forward to it. Me and Connor are going to try and make a day of it. We're going to try and get up to Dublin early. Hopefully meet as many of you guys as we can. So if anybody on here is going to the game in Dublin, let us know, because we really would love to meet up, shake your hand, say thank you, introduce ourselves, because it's always good to put faces to a name. So if you're going up to the game, let us know. Why not meet up, shake Connor's hand, slap Connor across the face, kiss him, kiss this bald head of mine, do whatever you want to do, but do introduce yourself, because it's always great to meet fellow Reds. And yeah, we're going to make sure we've got time. So if you want to come up, maybe we can film your thoughts, we can do a little interview and see what you guys think of the season ahead. There's a few other bits and pieces we want to do as well, so it will mean a lot to us. It's always great to meet you guys, so if you're around, do let us know, and we will certainly do our best to meet up and say hello. Mignolet has a flat face, says Louis. Smitten said Mignolet is shite, I'm afraid to say. Don't be afraid to say it. I'll come out and say it for you. Mignolet is shite. Absolute shite. Total shite. Utter shite. Thomas said, stream from the game. It's only Chelsea. Yeah, the thing is, if I was to show you the email, actually, do you know what? I might bring it up and show you some of it here. The email we got about the passes. One of the things that says on it is there's absolutely no streaming inside the stadium. There's no Facebook Live. There's no Instagramming. None of that stuff. I'll read it out to you here, actually. So all video cameras must be signed into the TV non-rights room located adjacent to the media elevator upon arrival into the stadium. No video recordings can take place inside the stadium, and that includes Instagram stories, Facebook Live, Vines, streaming, etc. So unfortunately we can't, because we did try and think about it. But what I will do, what I'm going to try and do actually, if I'm being honest, is at half time and at full time, I'm going to see if I can get away with going live onto YouTube for a few minutes to give you guys an immediate reaction to what's after going on, give you guys a view from the media box for where we are, and kind of give you guys a feel for where we are in the stadium, what it was like. We'll get as many shots of the crowd as we can. I think Connor's going to do something when we film a whole day from start to finish, so we'll try and do a little video, get it up on YouTube, and give you guys, as many of you guys who hasn't got a chance to get to the game, give you guys as good a feel for the day as we can. I don't know how it'll work out yet, but bear with us, we'll definitely try our best on that one. Gark is cringe, says Cameron, and he most certainly is. He is very, very cringe. Very, very cringe. Very. Extremely. He's just like life's one big skid Gark. Another one actually somebody mentioned last night was Gark plugs, which I thought was brilliant. I've got to go and change the Gark plugs. Connor reckons that we should all go to Nando's before the game. No, Connor, you've promised to buy everybody steak sandwiches and Rollies Bistro. So, you know, you're not getting out of it now, buddy. Steak sandwiches all round on behalf of Connor. Rollies Bistro. Money is of no object to young man. Connor shitting €50 notes. Thomas reckons that we should sign Adama Traore. He's a good player, but he's very raw, and there's lots and lots of work to do on him. I don't know if he'd be ready for us, if I'm being honest. A few messages being deleted, guys. Have we a few unhappy people in here somewhere? I haven't seen them before you've deleted them. He jumped the Gark, said Steve. Mo had a breakdown after the loss yesterday. He did. El Mourinho, gotta love him. Blaming everyone, the referees, calling them baseball umpires, blaming his players, the young players, the lack of depth he has in the squad. It was everybody's fault, wasn't it? Absolutely everybody's. Megan Garkle. Oh, he's a great one there from Cobra. Megan Garkle. Fair play, buddy. That is a good one. Mignolet has the flattest, biggest square head ever. It's probably a world record and it will never be broken. He defo has a bit of a SpongeBob head. I'll give you that one. He defo does. Do a vlog, says Ryan. Which, yeah, it's interesting actually. It's a good idea. That is a good idea, Ryan. Thank you. Cryptic Gaming said, why am I on timeout? It wasn't me, mate, so I honestly can't answer you. It may have been somebody else in the mods, but I certainly didn't put you into timeout, buddy. Thomas says, get Sabrina to hide the camera for you. We know she's best at hiding stuff like that. Unfortunately, mate, she won't be at the game. It'll just be myself and Connor that will be there. And Connor's really looking forward to finally getting to meet his hero, Mr. James Pearce. So yeah, we'll make sure we get a picture of Connor shaking James Pearce's hand, because for him that's like him meeting the president or the fucking Dalai Lama or something. Head like a gravestone, says Cobra. Oh, that's a good one as well. Ryan said, although I do agree with Gark's reaction to the game last night, it is a tough time for United fans at the minute. I'm not going to lie. I agree with what you're saying. They're pissed off and they're unsure about Mourinho, and they're unsure about the squad they have, and they're unsure about the style of football, but fuck them. Fuck them. They're absolutely deserving of it. We've been through that period. We've had that tough time. It's about time the Manx had a taste of it. Let the good times roll. Let the good times come to Liverpool. Don't worry about the Manx. Leave them to it. Good enough for them. There you go, Kieran. An answer to your question, mate. That's how. Pope James Pearce, said Connor, which he could be next in line, Connor. We could be seeing the white smoke over the Echo offices very soon. Tom said, Craig, has anybody done Donny Garko? It was one of the first ones, Tom, and one of the best as well, I have to say. Donny Garko, Jurassic Gark. What else have we had? Gark Plugs, G Sun Gark, which was an absolute belter because it obviously has that United slant on it as well. Junior said it was class how Sturridge gave Ojo the penalty, and really well put away as well. Lots of confidence from the young man. Sent the keeper the wrong way and placed it beautifully into the bottom left hand corner. It was a fantastic penalty. And to be fair, I said this last night as well, but Pereira's free kick I thought was absolutely wonderful. I think the keeper gave him a little bit too much, showed him a little bit too much of his right hand side perhaps, but even bearing that in mind, it was a wonderful free kick from Pereira, so credit where it's due. Great strike. Thomas said, do you think Mane plays better as a 10? It's a conversation, Thomas, that I've had with people in our WhatsApp group. I think that's the beauty of him. He can play a 10, he can play wide, and I fully believe he can play through the centre as well. He's a very, very talented footballer. And I think it was no accident that you've seen the likes of Real Madrid flirting with him and being mentioned with him, because he's come on leaps and bounds, and he's a devastating footballer that causes umpteen amounts of problems for opposition defenders. I know he can be a little bit frustrating at times perhaps. He needs a little bit of a cool head maybe in certain situations, but I think he's come on a lot, and I think we're gonna have to accept some of those frustrating moments to see the moments of brilliance that we get from him. And yes, I do think he can play as a 10. I don't know if it's his best position, but he can certainly do a very effective job there, Thomas. Kieran, no problem, buddy, by the way. You're absolutely welcome. Thank you for always being on, mate, and all the input you give to the channel. Steve said Chelsea will only sign Pulisic if we don't want to, and I fully agree with you there, buddy. I mean, I think we blow Chelsea out of the water if we go in for Pulisic, just from an attractive point of view, or an attraction point of view. I'm not sure which one of them I'm meant to be saying. Murtaza says, Craig, what's happening with Fekir? Are we getting him? Mate, I'd love to have an outright answer for you, but the truth is I don't. I still think we'll get him. I don't know what gives me such confidence. I just think we'll get him. If we go in for Pulisic, and I mean really go in for Pulisic, then obviously that will cast a big shadow over any possible move for Fekir. But as things stand, the next week is going to tell us a lot, because we're going to be in France. You'd imagine if anything was going to happen, it's the perfect time. So just give it a few more days, and I think you'll know one way or the other. Louis said, I want Fekir. He's better than Pulisic. At this moment in time, yes, I would agree, hands down. If we're just looking in the short term, then yes, Fekir is probably a better player. But I think Pulisic has a higher ceiling, personally. But both would be tremendous signings as well, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be angry if we signed one of the two of them at all. It'd be fantastic. Owen said Ojo was joining Middlesbrough for 10 million, and that was the club I was trying to remember earlier on, Owen, so thank you, buddy. I was trying to remember who it was that was linked with him. I think it might be a little bit more than 10, but at 10, what do you think? Is a good business for the club? I'd be amazed if we don't put a buyback clause in there, because we've been doing it with anyone that we deem promising young player. So yeah, interesting. And 10 million, I think it's a decent amount if I'm being honest. Samian said, which stupid people disliked? And that actually leads me on to something. We often wonder about that, don't we? We've had conversations about who it is that leaves these thumbs down, and I've done a little bit of investigating on this one. It started out because somebody put a comment in the chat one day that said, I've disliked every video since you've started. I hate your channel. It's shit. You're a towhead, an egghead. And then they went on to say some more fucking absolute belters like, your nan has no hair, which technically is true because she's been dead about 15 years, so she's worm food at this point, so yeah, you're technically correct. Your dad sells Avon. Again, he doesn't, he's dead, so unfortunately on that one, you're wrong. And a few more absolute beauties as well, but there is a couple of accounts that are linked to each other that are the ones hitting the thumbs down button. We know who they are. They think we don't know who they are, but we absolutely do know who they are. And let's just say it's no accident. It happened in the podcast world. It's happening in here. We know who they are. They know we know who they are. So they can keep hitting the thumbs down button. It means fuck all to us. All it does is lets us know that we're bothering them. And that in itself is priceless. So to anyone that does hit the thumbs down button, all you're letting us know is that we're winning, by the way. Because you taking the time to hit that button lets us know that, one, you know we exist. Two, you're taking the time to actually physically hate us, which means we're in your fucking head, which means we ain't ever leaving there, which means we win, dickhead. So you carry on hitting that thumbs down all you like, because we win. Anfield Agenda 1, trolls zip, and you better get used to it, because we're here to fucking stay. And as our fellow Irishman McGregor said, we ain't here to take part, bitches, we're here to take over. And Anfield Agenda and Daz at On The Bench LFC, we're going to take over, so get used to it. And that's my little spiel about the trolls, guys. So sorry again, it's just Samey and asked which stupid people disliked, and it made me remember a few comments that were in the messages the other day. Lubac said Ojo has looked really decent on tour, which he has, to be fair, he has, but he wasn't great last year on loan. Was it at Fulham? I think it was at Fulham he was on. We only discussed this on the Cop Council, so we should remember. I always get mixed up who was at Fulham and who was at Sunderland. I always get the two players mixed up, but he didn't pull up any trees there, but he looked very, very talented in pre-season. He missed an opportunity against Dortmund, if memory serves me correct. Was it Dortmund he was pulled clean through and the goalkeeper made a save with his foot and tipped it onto the bar? But he is a talent, definitely is a talent. The Garkshank Redemption, that is another one that we've seen, which is good. Scott Jacob Allen said, Craig, your moderators keep timing me out. Can you control them? I'm not doing anything wrong. Can anybody explain or tell me who is timing him out? Because from his comment here, Scott seems like an extremely reasonable person. So Scott, mate, I do apologise, and I've no idea why you're being timed out. So can everybody just leave Scott be and let him post in the chat? Apologies, Scott, mate, and thank you for bringing it to our attention. What else have we got? What is Louis talking about? I'm just trying to go back through here, so bear with me. Nope, he retracted it, so I can't see what it was. I guess I'm going to have to just pass on that one then. Fuck the haters, said Connor. Abso-fucking-lutely. It makes me smile, Connor, you know that. It makes me smile knowing that they take the time to worry about us so much. It's hilarious, because I don't give a fuck what anybody else does. Other people's content, other people's channels, I'll admire the good stuff, but apart from that, I don't give a fuck what they do. Michael said McGregor needs to get in with Khabib, and that'll be a good fight. I mean, I'm not going to lie, Michael, I agree with you. I think he does need to get in there, deal with Khabib and shut him up. The haters are just your fans, sour grapes. The funny thing is, do you know what, Sniper Jules? I'd love to say they are Man United fans, but they aren't. They're Liverpool fans. That's the funny part about it. Lubac said, don't let the bastards get you down. Buddy, you should know me by now. This doesn't get me down. This makes me laugh. Absolutely makes me laugh, because I don't give a fuck about other people. So to know other people take the time to worry about us or worry about what we're doing is absolutely priceless. God love them. I wish I had the spare time they have to be worrying about stupid things in life or to troll other people. Don't know what goes through trolls' heads. Not just on here, in life, on YouTube, on Twitter, on anyone's channels, on anyone's content. Why do they do it? They really must have no joy in their lives whatsoever. Ajari at Sunderland Junior, mate, thank you. I always get that mixed up. Thank you for that one. And Ojo at Fulham. Murtaza said, Craig, what do you do if Jurgen Klopp leaves Liverpool for United and we get Mourinho? Don't ever say that again. With all love and respect, buddy, please don't ever say that again. I don't even want to have that thought in my head. Oh God, no thank you. And they don't deserve Klopp. Let's just be honest, they don't deserve a manager like Klopp. Connor, Craig versus the Troll to be the next big boxing match on YouTube. I'd love to do a kind of a celebrity death match type scenario there, where we can make a cartoon of it. It'd be fucking brilliant. Cryptic Gaming said, "Excuse me, but I ordered this with Mo salad. Do. Aaron Lennon thinks that the Pulisic rumours are just to annoy Johnny Cuntylocks, and possibly. You know what? I probably hadn't thought about that one too much, because maybe I just want Pulisic so much that I hadn't even contemplated that. But I mean, there might be something to it. There may be something to it, Aaron. Never say never. Kieran said, "Isn't the chat in slow mode?" I know Connor put it into slow mode last night to stop trolls coming on and spamming links, so it may still be. I can't remember. Connor will probably let us know in the chat. And Luback said, "Craig's anti-troll rant was top notch." It just has the absolute opposite effect on me. All it does is fuels me, mate, and it lets me know I'm doing a good job. If we're pissing people off, then we're doing something right. Cryptic Gaming says, "Leave me be too, I'm not doing anything wrong." I haven't seen you do anything wrong at all either, Cryptic Gaming, mate. I'm not sure what's going on here with mods and who's putting people into timeout, but unless people are being blatantly abusive, then just, like, you may dislike somebody's comment, but guys, unless they're being abusive to you or somebody else in the chat, then just leave them be, and if it gets too bad, then we'll point it out. Sean, buddy, great to see you in. I was only thinking about you last night. How are you, my friend? Great to see you back in the chat. I hope you got a chance to watch the game last night. You may have even been in the chat, buddy. My head was all over the place last night. It was so busy, but brilliant to see you in, and you're most welcome, sir. Thank you for joining back in. Louis said, "Breaking, Trent Alexander-Arnold will return to training a week earlier than expected and join up with the squad in France, as will Alisson and Bobby Firmino." Steve said, "Kloppo gives Dortmund a buzz and says, 'Hey Dortmund, do us a favour, will you? And just say you're selling Pulisic so we can drive down the Fekir deal.'" Cobra said, "I've got a mate who's an Arsenal fan, and even he said Klopp's a great manager and he was jealous that we got him." I know this sounds like something you'd say, or we'd all say now, because he is our manager, but honestly, hand on heart, I couldn't think of a better manager for Liverpool Football Club anywhere in the world at this moment in time, and I mean that sincerely. Jurgen Klopp for me is the perfect person to be leading Liverpool Football Club. Hands down, can't think of anybody better, and I include Guardiola in that one. Honestly, cannot think of anybody better to be the manager of Liverpool Football Club at this present moment, with where we were at, with where we wanted to go. Absolutely perfect fit. What else have we got? If you believe Transfer Geek on Twitter, they said Liverpool and Chelsea are in talks with Christian Pulisic. Chelsea have apparently been in talks with everybody. They were in talks with Alisson apparently. Now they're in talks with Pulisic. They've been in talks with Joe Hart at one point. They were in talks with, who's that other goalkeeper? Petr Cech at one point. They've been linked to everybody, but they're signing absolutely nobody really, other than what's the guy's name that came in with Sarri? Jorginho. Yeah, other than him, they're not really signing anybody. El Chapo said, "Craig, I timed him out for spamming pure retarded comments." Which one, El Chapo, are we talking about? Yeah, anyway. So cheers for letting me know who it was anyway. That is much appreciated, El Chapo, mate. Thank you for that one. "I wouldn't swap Klopp for anybody in the world," says Eric. "Nor would I, mate. And I know it's easy to say that, but I genuinely mean it. I wouldn't swap him for anybody." Connor said, "The Transfer Geek page has been very reliable this summer, to be fair." I don't even know the page, Connor. which is mad because I consider myself well up on stuff on Twitter, and I've never heard of that page, so I'm certainly going to have a little read of it later on. What else have we got? Is it strange that Oulas has been quiet for the last few days? Do you think that means anything, or is he actually just shutting up for a while? I don't know. Maybe he's resting to have one last big push at trying to sell him before the season starts. I think the silence all around has been interesting. I don't know if it's been a change in tact maybe from Oulas, and we're trying to do things a little bit quieter behind the scenes, or if there genuinely is nothing there. And that's the beauty of it. None of us know this, and it's why amazing things like the Fabinho deal came about out of nowhere. So, we've only got 12 days to go, so we're going to know pretty soon what's happening one way or the other. Sean said, I'm really good, thanks Craig. I saw the game, totally dominated it, fantastic, can't wait for the start of the season. It's very promising, Sean, isn't it? It's there's a lot to look forward to on the football in front, and what a time to be a Red. I know I keep saying it, but look at the smile on my face, buddy. What a time to be a Liverpool fan. Sniper Jules says, the problem with most top clubs at the moment is that a lot of them seem to have to sell before buying. And again, very good point. But we aren't in that position. We have been very clever about how we've gone about things. We have had money in the bank, clearly. We brought in a lot of money through European competition, through how far we went there, through TV rights, as have other teams, to be fair. But we had money in there from Coutinho. So, yeah, we maybe were a little bit different in that we had money that we could lay our hands on straight away and go and attack the market early, which is certainly what Kloppo did. Toby Hickman asks, do you think we'll sign anybody before the transfer window closes? I do, Toby. I've said it all along. I think there's one more to be had there somewhere. Whether it is Pulisic, whether it's Fekir, or whether it's an absolute surprise from out of nowhere, I don't know. But I think there might be one more there. And that's not based off any inside knowledge whatsoever. Just optimism, buddy. Maverick said, who out of the youngsters is good enough to play a few games this season? Certainly Jones, by the looks of it. Certainly Curtis Jones. Who else? Camacho, I think it's possibly a little bit too early to say. Although he's been impressive. Or maybe it's my ignorance towards Camacho perhaps, and my ignorance of the knowledge of how good he is. Definitely Curtis Jones though. Hands down for me, he's been the young player pre-season. What else have we got? Didn't Chelsea sign Robert Green? I believe they did. Pretty much along the same lines as United signing Lee Grant, the 35-year-old superstar goalkeeper that was playing for them last night in the first half. Connor said, hypothetically, if Kloppo were to leave tomorrow, who would you want to replace him? I'm going to take a few seconds to have a think about that one, so let me mull it over in my head. There's a few obvious ones, like Pochettino is a great manager. I'm not going to deny it. I think he's a fantastic manager. Who else is there though? I'm not going to say Guardiola because it's too obvious. Again, another fantastic manager. I don't like Nagelsmann. I don't like any of those young coaches. I don't rate Tuchel or Thomas Tuchel too much either. Yeah, I'd probably have to say Pochettino. Yeah, I probably would go with Pochettino. Pochettino, buddy, is probably my honest answer. And I don't like giving Spurs that compliment, but if we were to lose Kloppo, and look, obviously if we lost Klopp, we wouldn't be able to go and get Pochettino from Spurs that easily. Daniel Levy wouldn't let it happen, but probably Pochettino, if I'm being honest. I do think he's a very, very, very good manager. Kieran said Klopp understands what it means to be a Red, and I think he does. I think he has that instant connection with the fan base, and I think, look, I'm not going to be one to know much about social levels and stuff like that, but I think at heart he's a socialist, and I think that he understands the philosophy of Liverpool fans and the way their outlook on life, and I think he knows how much football means to Liverpool as a city. So I think you're right. I think he does understand what it means to be a Red. Malga said, searching all online through many articles to see different fan opinions, the majority say Liverpool will win. Look, it's tough to say. All we can say is that we're going to be there or thereabouts, and it's nice to be in the conversation. You start the season wanting to win the 4 competitions you enter, don't you? And we do that every year, but this year it just feels like there's something a bit different. Something special is building, and it's not easy. There's only 4 trophies every year we can play for. It's not easy to win them, but we're definitely there. We're definitely there or thereabouts, and nothing, and I mean nothing outside of family life would make me happier than Liverpool winning the Premier League. Literally nothing. Luback reckons that Chelsea will get Leon Bailey. They are linked with him. Again, another player that they're linked with. Ray says, gotta take our hats off to FSG in fairness. They brought Klopp in and are dedicated to supporting him. That's the thing. I think when they came in initially, they may have put their faith a little bit in the wrong people. Or they may have been bitten with the transfer fees that we paid and didn't really get the success that they thought they may have. Obviously, we have the whole thing around Kenny and how Kenny was treated, and I think that they've tried their best to make up for that, although again it was a poor decision at the time. Maybe from a footballing sense possibly the right decision, but maybe it could have been handled a bit better. From there on out, and from the moment they appointed Jurgen Klopp, everything seems to have changed. They gradually seem to have understood that they have a man that's perfect for what they're trying to do, that can work towards the type of financial, I won't say negativity, but financial equilibrium that they're looking to build, that the club can bring in money, sell players for good money, spend that money, and to be fair, they have let him spend everything he's brought in pretty much. They're not owners that are pulling money out of the football club. They've come in, they've built a new stand, they're building a new training facility. I don't know whether the Any Road will get done. I'd probably be more negative than positive on that one, and I hope I'm wrong. But yeah, hats off to them. They've been really, really good owners for the last few years. They had a bit of a rocky start with some fans. They've made a few shitty PR decisions, but there's much, much, much worse owners in football. And yeah, I think we're in a decent position with our owners. And as I said, there's certainly a lot worse out there. Daniel Cook said, has there ever been a Liverpool manager who's left and gone to United as a manager? Not that I know of. Obviously, I may be back in the early 1900s or something, but not that I'm aware of. Madrid have bid 100 million for Willian and Courtois, said C. I'm sorry, I'm just doing the maths quickly in my head, C. 35 million they reckon for Courtois, so that's pretty much near the number that Chelsea seem to be willing to sell at for both. Cobra said, and we've got a shitload of sponsors now as well. We've got 17 listed on the official site, and that's not including some of the other ones which aren't listed on there. Again, just goes to show how far the club have come commercially. All these partners or sponsors or whatever we want to call them, they all bring in money, they all bring in revenue, they all bring in their own different benefits to the club as well. They all open up different doors, different markets to the club, and all that does is increase our brand awareness throughout the world and bring on new fans. It just all works. It's just part of owning something as big as Liverpool. You need to have owners who know how to use that asset. And I don't like to say that because I hate describing football club as an asset, but you need to know how to exploit it. And they do. They know how to exploit it in the right way. Apparently Liverpool are in talks with Dortmund along with Chelsea, says Ben, for Christian Pulisic. Scott said, Craig, do you think Klopp is in danger of losing his job if we lose another cup final? No, not at all. Not even a little bit. Not even 5% of me would think that. Because you have to remember, he's getting us to these finals. There's not much Klopp could have done to change what happened against Real Madrid. Klopp couldn't have changed the injury that happened to Salah. That's nothing to do with Klopp. It's not his fault. Klopp is getting us to the big games. He's getting us to the dance, if you want to put it that way. And no, I've seen other clubs fans mention that, but for me, absolutely not. I think he's doing a tremendous job, and I think he's got lots of goodwill in the bank. What else have we got? If all our players score what we think they'll score, we'll be off the charts in the goal scoring numbers, says Thomas Boland. Andre said, I'm sick of waiting, we better win the league. Well, mate, don't get too stressed about it. It'll happen when it happens. Ultimatums aren't going to change anything there. I've waited quite a long time as well. What am I waiting now? 19, 26, 28 years or something since we won the league. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. It'll happen soon. I'm confident of that, but I won't be putting ultimatums on it like you did there in that comment. Blue tick game until I don't want the manager that has an attitude like Jose or an attribute like Jose. Nor do I. He's what we call over here in Ireland a Mayfainer. He's all about himself. Junior said he'd have Nagelsmann, Jardine or Luis Enrique, and personally I wouldn't want any of those three. But again, this is all about just personal opinions, isn't it? So we're all going to differ on what we think. Ben would have Zidane, who I think would be all wrong for us personally. I think, it was fate that he was going to do well at Real Madrid, and obviously, look, he knew how to manage big names because he was a big name himself, but he didn't really have to do much outside of that and attracting players in and stuff. So I'd have reservations on Zidane till I've seen him at another club or possibly in an international job. Amidared, am I reading that one correctly? Nat Phillips could get a few games in the Cup this season. He has been impressive as well, to be fair. Another good young player in pre-season that's done himself no harm whatsoever. Simeone, said Kieran. I wouldn't want to sit through that style of football though, mate. Jesus, I wouldn't want to sit through Simeone's style of football. It would be like going back to Rafa Benitez days, which were great, don't get me wrong. We certainly did really well under Rafa at times, but the style of football wasn't the best to watch. Eric said, Craig, don't think about a manager, address it in 6 years, which I hope not to be doing for at least 6 years. FSG would not have done crap if it was not for, or S, hang on, I want to read this one, bear with me. Oh, I can't even figure that one out, so I'm going to have to pass on that one. Cryptic Game says, I have to go now, boys. See you tomorrow. If you do, and clap for Prime Minister. Good night, mate. Thanks for joining the stream again. And yes, I will be here tomorrow, so no doubt I'll talk to you then. Klopp is at Liverpool until he puts us on the path of winning trophies, which will be within the next 2 seasons, says Anthony Peters. Again, I fully agree with you, mate. It's great that I'm agreeing with so many comments in here tonight. But yeah, he's here to try and give us long-term, sustainable success with players who are here and will be here for the peak of their careers. So yeah, and I think at times you look at Spurs as a good example of this, and you can't undervalue the players that are already at the club and know each other and know the style of football that they have to play. So just a few little additions and tweaks in and around that, you can get big results. So I think, yeah, you're right. Klopp is going to do big things here, and I can't wait to see them happen. Wayne Denton says, exciting season ahead, lots of goals, great attacking football, better defence equals trophies, you'll never walk alone. Yeah, we need a good defence. Thankfully we have big Verge there, and things are looking pretty solid, to be fair. Andy's been amazing at left back, Trent and Kleiny at right back. If we can keep Lovren fit and he can keep his head, then he's great to partner Van Dijk, and obviously Alisson in goal is going to make a massive difference. Owen said, Craig, who's your preferred centre-back partner to play with Van Dijk? Mine's Joe Gomez. I'd have to say at this moment in time, mine's probably Dejan Lovren. I'd like to see a bit more of Joe Gomez, and I'd like to see him get minutes, but now if I was to pick an 11, it would be Dejan Lovren for me. Mark Pryor said, nobody else buys new players with the pathway to the kids being left open in Klopp, we believe. Yes, again, totally agree, Mark. And Mo reckons if we're to really push on for the league, then Fekir is a must. And I do think we are a little bit short in the attacking department, particularly in strength and depth. So again, Mo, another comment I agree with. Craig, if we get Fekir, then why don't we go for Son? He's proven in the Premier League and who cost similar money. He just signed a new contract at Spurs, so he'd be out of the question. Which is probably why he was being mentioned a few weeks ago and being like floated around a bit because he was aiming for that new deal. So definitely rule out Heung-min Son because, as I said, just signed a new deal at Spurs. Gary said Kloppomania is here to stay, Craig. Jason Smith says, cheers for the stream, mate, from Northern Ireland. Thank you, Jason, and great to have you in, buddy. I hope you've subscribed. I hope you've taken a minute to do so. I'm sure you have, but thank you again. And if you are watching the stream, guys, and you do have a moment, please do hit that subscribe button. Help us grow this channel. And what are we at, guys? Are we near our target? What were we looking for tonight? 2-4. So are we anywhere near that 2,400? Let me know if you can in the chat. And let me know how far away we are. We're 11 there. Sorry, I see Charlie says we're 11 subs away from 2,400. So come on, guys. We've got about, what, 45 minutes left. 45 minutes left of this stream. Let's hit that 11 subs and get to 2,400 before the stream's over. I won't even care about the thumbs up. We'll ignore them completely. Let's just get to the 2.4k and make Connor happy. Connor said, imagine coming to an LFC stream to promote your oil products. Maybe he's looking at my greasy head, Connor, and thinking that it's the right place to come and promote oil products. Maverick said, hi Craig, the comments jump and you appear to be missing out on a lot of comments. I'm getting a lot of comments through, but my screen has comments coming in from YouTube, from Twitter, from Periscope, and I'm trying to get through them all as best as I can. So if I am missing out on some, I do apologise, but comments move quickly on this stream, so I'm getting through as many as I can. And if I do miss anybody's comments, I can assure you I'm not doing so intentionally. So if I've missed a few of them, it's just bad luck. I'm not doing it to be a prick, I promise. Klopp will take us to the top, said Thomas, and yep, sincerely agree. Ahmed Red said, I'd throw 40 million at United for Martial. What a laugh he would be. Martial and the Klopp would flourish. He'd be class, but there's no way United are selling us Martial or anybody else. But I do agree he's a good footballer who's been completely mismanaged at United. Right, where else am I? Gone through there, gone through that one. Kieran said, Craig, if we get Fekir, Hendo won't be starting. Who would you make captain? Why won't he be starting? I don't understand why you could just blasé say like that he won't be starting. We can't say that about anybody because different teams will be picked to play against different opposition. So if we're going away from home, for instance, Klopp might look at it and think, okay, well, if Fekir comes in, maybe I'm going to want to play Keita, Hendo, Fekir. Maybe he'll say, I want to play Fabinho, Hendo, Keita, and I won't go as balls out to go forward. I'll try and be a little bit more solid in the middle. So I don't think it's a get one then Hendo won't play because there's lots of games, lots of variations, long season, and either way, even if Hendo doesn't play a lot of the games this year, he'll still be club captain. I'd be pretty much sure of that one. Look at other clubs. I mean, look at United last year. Wasn't what's his name captain? The guy that came from Spurs, how am I not remembering his name because I'm drawing a blank as I always do. And also at Chelsea wasn't John Terry club captain when he wasn't playing. But yeah, you don't have to be playing all the time to be club captain, I suppose, is my point. If you're having a vice captain, then I don't know, will he take it off James Milner? Or will he leave them at it, and then if neither of them are playing, he'll give it to Van Dijk or whoever the most senior player is? Honestly, don't know. I just think that Hendo is a tremendous club captain. I mean, the stuff he does on and off the field for Liverpool Football Club is above and beyond. So I don't get why anybody wants to take the armband off him. It's just really, I just can't comprehend it. I really can't. Carrick, yeah, Michael Carrick here, and thank you, buddy. That's the one. And again, when I say I can't comprehend it, I'm not having a go at you personally, mate. I just mean it just doesn't make any sense to me. Archie Forbes said, "Hiya Craig, I'm a bit late and I miss a bit as I'm on holidays, but it's important to make time for the family." It is indeed, buddy. And thank you for making time for us as well on your holiday. It's great to see you in. What do you think about Aston Villa's interest in Ben Woodburn for a loan? Should we do it? We spoke about it a little bit earlier, and as you said, yeah, you weren't in at the start, so I'll go back over it for you. Yeah, I think it's a decent move. Aston Villa will probably be there or thereabouts in the Championship next year. We've seen that they were in the final of the playoffs this year. And look, they've got new investment into the club. So, yeah, I think it's a decent move. I hope Steve Bruce gives them some game time or enough game time. I've no doubt that Klopp will have had a conversation about that or will have a conversation about that. But, yeah, I think it's a decent move. He'll get more minutes there than he would at Liverpool this season, Archie. So, I think it's a decent move. What about you? Let me know what you think. Again, in the chat if you get a chance. And again, thanks for taking the time out of your holiday, buddy. Scott said, "Does anybody else have a United shirt? I'm a huge LFC fan, but for some reason I've got two Manx shirts." No, absolutely not. From here anyway. 100% no. Do you watch the US Office? Says Ferno. I do. Oh, well, I did. It's finished, isn't it? But yeah, I did. Very good programme. Sammy said SHAQIRI is better than Martial and Lingard. Martial's a big statement, to be fair. He's a very good, talented footballer who just hasn't been able to flourish at United. Mike Hines said, "Why Owla said next week will be a storm concerning the Fekir situation." He said something along the lines of August the 9th or the 11th or something along that will be, or around that will be a big time in Fekir's career or something like that, if memory serves me. I don't know. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. What's happened to Moses Simon? Asked Xavier. He's gone quiet. He had an injury before the World Cup that kept him out of the World Cup, but ever since the link that we've seen pop up in a couple of papers or online publications, I haven't heard anything else at all about him. Steve said Hendo's injuries are worrying, and I won't lie yet, I was shocked to be told a couple of seasons ago that, and again, this didn't take into account last year, it took into account I think the year before and the year before that. I heard that Hendo had missed more time than Sturridge at one point, which was nuts. I spoke to you guys a couple of days ago about agents, and I let you guys know quite how much I despise agents and their role in football and how much money they're taking out of the club. So I did a little bit of research on it, and I went back in to see exactly what type of money clubs are spending on agents. Jason said subscribe from City Game top streamer. Thank you, Jason, mate, and it's very much appreciated. Great to have you in. So yeah, just to get back on this one, I did look up the amount of money spent by clubs, and I did say I thought Liverpool were top of the list, and indeed we were top of that list. I think these figures are from 17-18. So yeah, the top 7 were Liverpool, who'd spent 26,793,000 on agents' fees. So we were top of the pile. Next up were Chelsea at 25 million, Manchester City at nearly 23.5 million. United were down in 4th after spending 18 million on agents' fees. Watford surprisingly were 5th with just under 13.5 million. The Ev were 6th with 12 million, and Arsenal 7th with just over 10.5 million. And then you go all the way down to Spurs in 13th, who only spent 7 million on agents' fees. So If you look at Spurs there, 7 million, and then you go up to Liverpool at the top, we spent almost £20 million more in agents' fees. In agents' fees, guys, not on players, on these blood-sucking bastards that are taking money out of the game. £20 million more than Spurs on agents' fees. If that was on players, I wouldn't be questioning it. I'd be over the moon. But on agents' fees, it's so sad to see quite how much money is coming out of the game. I mean, if you look at the top 4 clubs there, then you're just shy of around £100 million being taken out of the game in agents' fees. 100 million. Imagine what that could do for fan causes, charities, kids, all that money going back into grassroots football and other great causes. It seems really sad that clubs are forking out this type of money to agents. I just think it should be like it is in other sports, and the players are the only ones to pay their agents' fees. So yeah, again, sorry about that, but I had a chat about it the other day, and I just wanted to let you guys know that I did look it up, just to give you the figures that we were speaking about. Steve said agents' fees are worth it to push the deals over the line. You can say that, I suppose, Steve, but wouldn't it be better if we were in a place where that didn't have to be done? That the money the players were getting paid are what pushed deals over the lines, and the players were striking their own deals with agents. I think, to the best of my knowledge, in American sports, the clubs don't pay agents' fees. It's the players that pay their agents. So the clubs don't have to worry about that type of stuff. They only deal with what they have to pay the players. Whatever deals the players have with their agent is up to them. I just don't like the idea of this money coming out of the game, going to somebody who has no impact in football in any way, shape or form. It's just a personal thing. It just really annoys me. Particularly when the cost of going to games and getting kids shirts and even getting your TV packages to watch the games just keeps rising and rising and rising. And we're the ones as fans who get stuck holding the bill for a lot of this, and it just pisses me off. Press Firmino said agents just needs to piss off. Steve said Fekir doesn't need an agent, he's got Johnny Cunty locks, which is a good show. Long Live King Mo said, do you know much about Vinicius Jr., the Real Madrid signed? Not a thing, honestly mate, not a thing. Eric thinks we're training in France, it's just a stopover and we're going to pick Fekir up on the way back. I hope so. I mean, look, maybe we're all putting 2 and 2 together here and coming up with 7, but how great would it be if that was the case, if we were going to use this week in France as a way to get into his ear and sit down and talk to Johnny Cunty Locks and perhaps get that deal done. Ryan said it's getting dark, so I'm off to bed. As always, been great chatting with you and everyone in the chat. Take care. Thank you, Ryan, mate. Always a pleasure, and I will talk to you tomorrow, my friend. Aaron thinks in time Trent can take the armband, and yes, great show. It would be amazing to see a youngster like that who came through the ranks, born and bred in Anfield, right beside the stadium, to finally captain the club. What a transformation that would be. What a story. And yeah, I agree with you 100%. He most certainly has the capabilities to be a captain someday. Cobra said, was it Fekir's ACL that went? It was, mate, and apparently the issue with that is there's, I think, again, if memory serves me right, there's two different methods to rebuild an ACL injury, and one has a shorter lifespan but gets you back a little bit quicker, and the other, there's a little bit longer recovery time, or maybe a good bit longer in the recovery time, but apparently it's a more long-term fix. And I think that if I'm right, Fekir's one was the one that got you back playing quicker, but may have to be revisited down the line and redone, and maybe that's what the issue is. Owen Farrelly said, really enjoy this channel, Craig, keep it up, mate. Thank you, Owen, honestly. It's always great to hear such kind words, but look, the channel only exists because of guys like you, because of all the other great people that come in every night, interact with us. If you guys weren't here, we wouldn't be coming on. So again, humbly thank you very much. Fekir and Alderweireld would be the icing on the cake, says Sammy. You know what, I can't disagree with you. I'd love both. Alderweireld is a tremendous footballer. Lubac said, I hate agents and they still have no proper regulations. Yes, another good point. They get away with far too much. Look, I'm sure there are some fucking brilliant agents out there who have nothing but the best of intentions for their clients and look after the young players and stuff like that, but we know there's some sharks out there as well. Sniper Jewel said, if you hate agents, you really hate Mina Raiola. Yes, I do. I really despise Raiola. Don't like him. Obviously, I don't like your man that was Raheem Sterling's agent. I can never remember his name. Then the other big one is Jorge Mendes or George Mendes. I don't know enough about Mendes from a personal level to make a decision on him, but again, making far too much money. You have Xavi as well, Pina Xavi I think his name is, again another super agent, and then you have Kia Jarabchin, another fucking massive agent that's taking far too much money out of the game. Aaron said Johnny Cuntilocks is very quiet. Fekir is coming, I like that one as well. Ferno said Nat Phillips has looked great. Yeah, absolutely he has. He's had a very good pre-season. Thomas Wirth says, Thomas said, if Buvac leaves Liverpool, how much of an impact do you think it'll have on Klopp? None, because it's done. It's already happened. I don't think you're going to see him back. If he was going to come back, he'd have been here for the pre-season. The season's only a couple of weeks away. The club have said nothing on it. And I think that's probably what's going to happen. You'll see it buried in some good news. So maybe when we have a good result, we sign somebody or something good happens, they'll bury that with the bad news about Buvac possibly leaving his post. At a guess, I'd say you probably see Pep Linders or somebody promoted, but that's just a guess. Yamba123 said, one question, do you think Klein still has a chance to get his spot back? In 16-17, he was our most consistent player. Long term, no, would be my honest answer, but I still think he has a role to play within the club, and I still think there's a fair number of games there for him to play, because we are going to need to rotate, and I think Kleiny can also cover at left back if needs be and give Andy Robertson a break. So I think there's definitely enough games for him there, but I think if we're to just pick our best right back, then I'd probably see Kleiny having to fall behind Trent, if I'm being honest. But I do think he certainly has a future at the club. Although in saying that, I also wouldn't be really surprised if the club decides to cash in on him. But just from a quality point of view, then yeah, look, I still think he certainly has a lot to offer. A.D. Ward was Sterling's agent. Thank you, James. Yeah, what a prick he is. Cobra said, I read that as well, mate. He had the allograft instead of the autograft, and I don't understand the differences there, which is which, but yeah, just going off my very, very, very limited knowledge on the Fekir situation, that's what I remember reading. And then Cobra said the allograft is 3 times more likely to fail than the autograft. So yeah, Cobra obviously has a little bit more insight on it than me, but thank you for that, buddy. Fagark is coming. Jordan Reeves said, you okay, mate? Are you okay, mate? Again, it's gone over my head, buddy, but if you're asking am I okay, then yeah, top of the world. Just really tired because it's been a really, really long week. Lots and lots of stuff to do. Nat Phillips, Curtis Jones, Camacho and Grabara and that Irish keeper, Quevian Kelleher, I think is his name, buddy, have looked really good. Again, completely agree with all your comments there, Ferno, mate, all those suggestions. And Far Isle as well, just confirming that it was 80 Ward. Right, guys, where are we at? We are with the subs. Let me know, where are we at? We've got about 18 minutes left of tonight's stream, so you guys know what the last 10 or 15 minutes mean. It's where we have a bit of a laugh, a bit of a joke. I don't know where we're going to go with it tonight, so you can let me know what you want to have a joke about, but Where are we at with the subs? Have we hit 2,400 yet? We can't be too far off at this point. Okay, where else are we at? Archie said, while I take time away from my biological family, I'm here with my Anfield Agenda family. Which I suppose is close enough, Archie buddy, but still you're on your holidays and I hope you're having a good one. He said, I'd love to see Woodburn go on loan as he needs to keep up his game time in front of challenging fans. So yeah, agree Archie, but enjoy your holiday, mate. I mean, you work hard enough, I'm sure, to go on this holiday, so make sure you enjoy it with the family and create some wonderful memories, which is what life is all about, if we're being honest. Ben said, would you take Sterling back? If so, what price would you be happy with the club paying? From a level of the way he treated the club, I'd tell him to go and fuck himself. From a footballing perspective, and a footballing perspective only, then yes, I absolutely would take Raheem Sterling back, because I think Raheem Sterling is a very, very talented footballer who would be a dream in Klopp's system, just as he is in Pep Guardiola's system. Look, we all know he has issues when it comes to finishing, nobody can deny that, but I think we'd just be cutting our nose off to spite our face if we were to say that he was a shit footballer, because he isn't. So from a personal perspective, no, but from a footballing perspective only, then yeah, I would have Raheem Sterling back, but only to improve the team, not from an I want Sterling back kind of thing, because I think he's a snake. And the price, I don't know, 70 maybe. I'd be happy if we paid 70 million for him in this market, because this market's crazy. I'd say they probably want more, but you just asked would I be happy to pay, Ben, and I think 70 million would be fair enough. Do you think we should start Trent in central midfield and Klein at right back? Trent is originally a central midfielder, says Farno. No, buddy. I think I spoke on a stream or a podcast a while ago, and I heard this on the Anfield Wrap, so I'm not going to try and take credit for it. I think it was Neil Atkinson said that Klopp probably has to have a conversation with Trent and say, look mate, do you fancy being a really, really good midfielder and having a good career there, or do you fancy becoming one of the best right backs in the world? And I think that's the kind of level that we could be talking about with Trent. So from that sense, I agree with what Neil said, and I think that he has a higher ceiling at right back. So I'd rather see him at right back, just personally anyway. And what else have we got? What's happening, lad? Says Jordan Reeves. Nothing, buddy. Just in here having some fun with the lads. About 15 minutes left. Absolutely exhausted. Wherever you are, Jordan, mate, I hope you're having a good one. I hope you enjoyed the match last night as well. Pulisic is FSG's dream, says Junior. He is. He's like a poster boy for everything that they love to do with a footballer. Ferno said he would take Sterling back. It's no wonder he left. He saw where the club was and where we were heading at the time. Eric said don't need Sterling and fans don't want them. Dylan asks, do you think we've a good chance of winning the Premier League after Klopp spends that much on players? I'll kind of address this in two ways, buddy, if that's okay. In answer to the first part of your question, yes, I think we've a great chance of winning the league this year. It's going to be tough to wrestle it away from Manchester City, and there's no doubt that they're going to go in as favourites, but yeah, I think we have a chance. Honestly, my hand on heart, I do think we have a chance of doing it. But I wouldn't worry about the money that Klopp spent. I wouldn't see that as an added weight on Klopp's shoulders, because it's money we've brought into the club. It's money that we've made. It's not money that we've had to go into debt for. We haven't had to borrow from the banks. We're not under pressure to refinance the deals to pay that money. It hasn't put the club under any financial strain. So I wouldn't see the issue of Klopp spending the money as something that would cause extra hassle for him. So from that sense, no. But yeah, definitely think we have a chance of winning the league. We're 7 more subs away, says James. Connor said 6, so we're definitely going in the right direction. Surely we can hit 6 subs, guys, in the next 15 minutes or so to hit 2,400. I do love a nice round number, so hitting 2,400 before the weekends, because this is our last stream of this week, isn't it? It's it's technically Monday now because we're a minute past midnight, but this is our last stream of the week. I think it's our 26th or 27th night in a row stream, and so definitely putting the hours in, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. Just one final shout before I say, I won't say this again on the stream because I hate bringing it up, but just in regards to the likes of Patreon and stuff, if anybody does want to help out the channel, and as I always say, I understand money is tight and money's a tricky subject to talk about, but if anybody does want to help us out on an ongoing basis going forward, you can do so at patreon.com, so that's patreon.com/Anfield Agenda, and you can go on there, set yourself up, become a patron of the channel, and what that means is that every month you send us £3, £5, £10, whatever it is you feel comfortable with. There's no minimum, there's no maximum, whatever works for you, and that will then get reinvested 100% into Anfield Agenda to grow it as a brand, to grow it as a place for Liverpool fans. It won't be going into our pockets. We're not taking a penny out from this from ourselves. It's all going back into the channel. So once again, that's patreon.com/Anfield Agenda. You can also donate on Ko-fi. The links for Ko-fi, I think it's the same. I think it's Ko-fi. So it's ko-fi.com/Anfield Agenda. And then of course on PayPal. And on PayPal there's two ways you can do it. You can go into PayPal like you do every other time you make a transaction, and you can just put in the email address anfieldagenda@outlook.com and you can send it as a once-off payment. You can send a tenner to buy Connor a pint, or you can send a £5 for me to buy turtle wax for my head, whatever works for you. You can do it that way as well. And then there's a PayPal me, which is paypal.me/Talk of the Terrace, which was our old name, of course. That's the last time I mentioned that on the stream, and apologies that I have to do it, but you guys know what it is. You need to keep the channel ticking over. And while YouTube refused to monetize us, then unfortunately this is the position that we're in, guys. Kieran said, did you watch the fight from last night? I did, mate, I did. I recorded it and watched it back after we finished on the stream last night. It was a great night of boxing all around, to be fair, Kieran. The Chisora fight was nuts. Conor Benn in another war. But obviously, if that had gone maybe a minute longer, then it looked like Dillian White was in a huge bit of fucking trouble. But it was great to see the respect shown between White and Parker afterwards. It's always nice to see. There wasn't as much trash talking before this one as we've seen before. Not with Parker, to be fair, because he's an absolute gentleman. But with other fighters we've seen it. But really good night of boxing. Katie Taylor, of course, does what Katie Taylor does. She is absolutely phenomenal. Fuck all this talk of male female boxers. Katie Taylor's just a shit hot top level boxer, full stop. It's great to see her do what she's doing, and I love boxing, mate. I love boxing. I love seeing the best fighting the best, and I hope we're moving towards more of that in boxing, because that's one thing I think the UFC has on boxing at the minute, is that more of the top fighters are fighting each other, and that needs to happen in boxing a little bit more. Woodburn is going to Aston Villa on loan. Great move for him in my opinion, said Ferno. We spoke about it earlier on, buddy, but yeah, I think it is a good move. Cobra said, an autograft for an ACL surgery is harvested directly from your own body. So tendons that are commonly used include hamstrings and is that patellar tendons or patellar tendons? DK Hearty foot, or is that Dirty Hearty root? I don't know. We'll go with DTK Hearty root, because that's what I'm going to call it. I really can't believe we aren't playing Alisson in pre-season, because we should test him with the team. Mate, he was on his holidays. It's not that we're not playing him. He hasn't joined up with the squad yet. Once a player finishes a World Cup or any tournament, legally they're entitled to 3 weeks holidays, so the club have to allow them go on holidays. He is back now. I think he has arrived in Liverpool. He will be heading off to France with the rest of the squad for the pre-season training camp over there. And all going well, he should be making his debut in Dublin in the Napoli game, which of course myself, Connor, will be at, and getting as much footage in and around the event, obviously not of the game itself, as we can for you guys from the comfortable surroundings of the media box, which is something we're very proud of. Very proud to have got those media passes. Vinny said, great stream again tonight, Craig. Night to all the Reds. Good night, Vinny, mate. As always, buddy. Thank you for joining in. Dirty Girl said, how do you highlight your name? I think you just put in the @ So if you want to comment, like, just put in an @ and then our name, and it should come up when you start writing in our name. Who do I hate more, Coutinho or Sterling? Asked Thomas. Definitely Sterling. Definitely Sterling, mate. I think I could understand it more from Coutinho's point of view, although I don't like the way he went about it either. But for me, Sterling. What about you, Thomas? Which one of them pissed you off more when he left? Ferno said, on a Twitch stream, this guy was playing Fortnite, and I described this guy as a porno that I watched that night. Okay, I don't get that one at all, buddy, but gaming isn't my thing either, so Twitch isn't a platform that I'd be majorly aware of, but I do kind of know what it's about. James Bauer says, once you reach 2.5k Ray monetization again, it's got nothing to do with the numbers, buddy. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we were entitled to apply for monetization. You have to hit 1,000 subscribers, and then I think it's so many hours of watch time. I can't remember if it's 40,000 hours or something like that, but you have to hit so much in regards to 1,000 subs and so many hours of watch time, and then you can apply. We did apply and we were refused, and that's the reason why we're on here talking about stuff like Patreon, because we were going to close down the channel because we couldn't fund the channel. But people were kind enough to say to us, look, you guys go ahead and keep going, we'll try and help you out where we can going forward, and maybe we can do this together. So yeah, we were turned down for monetization from YouTube for copyright infringement of all fucking things. Now I've no idea, James, what the copyright infringement was, because we don't show any content on here, we don't play audio, we don't do anything out of the ordinary other than come on and talk like we do every night. They didn't explain to us what it was. They didn't tell us how we could fix it. They gave us fuck all information. All they said was, you're not getting approved for monetization, you can apply again in 30 days, and of course you can apply alright, which we're still not we're inside that 30 days now, so we still can't apply. But once we do, it'll still take another 5, 6 or 7 weeks. And if they refuse us again, I don't know where the fuck we're going to be then, but you know, we'll deal with that when it comes to it. But yeah, so just on the monetization thing, James, just to give you a kind of quick overview, that's where we were at. Long live King Mo said Tyson Fury is the king. He really isn't, in all honesty. He's a superly talented heavyweight fighter who was amazing against Vladimir Klitschko and is unbeaten, so you know you can't slag him off in that sense, but he's a long way to come back now before he gets to the level to fight the top guys in the division. I do think he's a chance against anybody, don't get me wrong, but he's been away for a long time, so he needs to get back and have more competitive fights. But yeah, there's no doubt that him fighting Wilder and him fighting Joshua are mega fights that need to happen. But at this moment in time, I don't think it's fair to call Fury the king. Joshua is the king. Let's be honest. He holds most of the belts. Wilder holds the WBA belt because he's a pussy. Or is it WBC? WBC, I think it is. Because he won't fight anybody of any note. He's running away from Joshua by the looks of things. Stephen wants to know, is anybody into BMX? Far Isle said, just got a tweet from a guy, the Anfield Nag, couldn't comment in the live chat. Any ideas I can give him? I don't know what you mean, Far Isle, mate. Just repost in the chat, mate. I haven't got a clue what you're saying there. I just got a tweet from a guy, the Anfield Nag, couldn't comment in the live chat. He couldn't comment in the live chat. Sorry, apologies. I don't know is the honest answer why he couldn't comment in the live chat. Best asking Connor on that one. He's the tech guru, but there shouldn't be a reason why he can't comment in the live chat. What device is he using, I suppose, is the first question. Junior, what's the better company for a complete around 600 Sabrosa Sunday, WPT or Colt? Jesus Christ, that's gone over my head. No idea what you're talking about. Tom Connolly said, Craig, do you remember Katie Taylor playing football for Bray? I do, and funnily enough, a good friend of my father-in-law's coached Katie Taylor when she played in Bray. So yeah, definitely do remember Katie Taylor. As I said, I'm from Shankill, so only down the road. Also, Stephanie Roach is the younger sister of a guy I went to school with, a really good friend of mine called Eric, so also know Stephanie Roach's family. He, of course, scored that absolute wonder goal, by the way, if you remember. It was up there. It lost to James Rodriguez for the Puskás Award. Through Geordie to come on the podcast, said Prez. He would be most welcome anytime. He's brilliant. Love what he does. I know Connor as well is a big fan of True Geordie, so yeah, someday, never say never. But there's always an open invitation there for him. Connor said, Prez, I'd absolutely love that. I love him. I hope you're fucking talking about me there when you say I love him, Connor. I mean, I'm sure you don't mind. True Geordie, I'm sure you mean you love me. I'm sure that's what you mean. I think that, yeah, we'll go with that one. And Farwell said, Connor, you're tagged in the conversation on Twitter. So yeah, maybe Connor can help him out. God the Good One said, Hi Anfield Agenda, amazing to beat Man United, but I'm more impressed with Sturridge so far. He's been brilliant, mate, in pre-season. I'm going to call you God because I like saying that. God, he's been great in pre-season. Fingers crossed he can keep up his fitness, because we've said it time and time again, nobody can doubt Daniel Sturridge's ability. Daniel Sturridge can do absolutely anything he wants when fit. So, please God, he keeps fit, and yeah, we see him have an impact this season for Liverpool, because a fit Sturridge can have an impact without a shadow of a doubt. Junior says, oh no, just a few other people, sorry, just chatting with people. Right guys, I have 5 minutes left on this stream and I'm going to have to head off because my voice is going. We recorded a podcast before this, so keep an eye out, by the way, because this week's Cop Council will be out soon. It'll be out tonight on the podcast app, so whether that's iTunes, Acast, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, Podbean, have a look on there. Subscribe to the Anfield Agenda podcast, and Cop Council will be on there tonight. It'll be on there in about an hour. So this week, Cop Council had myself, Daz from On The Bench LFC, Chris and Tom. So really good show, some good content on there. It was a good laugh, actually. I really enjoyed it. So again, 100% free. You don't have to worry about paying anything. All our content is 100% free. So yeah, jump on it. Why not? It could be all the podcasts go up onto the YouTube channel as well, but they're usually about a day behind before they go onto YouTube. Lee said, you asked what copyright it was. We did. No answer. Don't get any answer at all, ever. By the way, it's like dealing with Twitter and Facebook. It's a waste of time. It's like banging your head off a brick wall, buddy. And it's so frustrating because you don't want to break any rules. So you'd love to know what the problem is so you can fix it, because you're not on here to scam people. You're not on here to break rules. You're not on here to cause issues. You're on here to meet Reds, have a laugh. And the whole point of us wanting to monetize it through YouTube is that we don't have to ask for money. We can keep our content 100% free. We don't want to be on here asking for people to go onto Patreon and stuff. We want to be getting money through advertising. We want to be getting money through super chats if people want to do things that way and stuff. But unfortunately, we don't have that option. So our only option was to close down the channel or to do what we're doing now, which is ask people to give us a little helping hand while we get sorted out with YouTube. And once we get sorted out and that gets sorted out, then we're all good to go. Garkovic. Love that one. God says, where are you based? Ireland, buddy. I'm in Wexford. Connor's in Wexford. So yeah, I guess you could say that the channel is based out of Wexford in Ireland. But we have contributors from Liverpool. Where is Chris from? Chris is from near Port Vale. Tom is down in London. What else have we got? Charlie is down south, but originally a Scouser. Christian is from Sweden. Am I missing out on somebody here? I feel like I'm missing out on somebody, but yeah, we've got contributors from everywhere pretty much up and down the UK and a couple in Europe. Tom said, wasn't Katie as good a good footballer as well? Yeah, she's internationally capped. I I can't remember how many caps she has for Ireland, but yeah, she was a very good footballer. Gark and Nation Street, smart Garks, Gark Enders. Okay, guys, last time I've asked him, but did we hit 2400? Did we get there? I actually almost refuse to get off until we do get there. Dirty Girl said, Craig, get Cash and Connor to co-present if you're tired. It's just availability at times. Cash is so busy. I mean, Cash just doesn't let the grass grow. Cash is 100 miles an hour. She's got an incredibly busy life between work, study, and lots of other interests that she has. We're just glad to get Cash on whenever she can. She's a breath of fresh air, and we love chatting with Cash. Damo said Cash is from Northern Ireland too. When I said Liverpool, that was one of the people I meant, because Cash does live in Liverpool. But yeah, you are right. She's from Derry originally. Craig, MBE. You can take your MBE and stick it. I'm Irish, buddy. No MBE for me. Although Sir Cop Jaffer does have a nice ring to it. Sir Cop Jaffer. That does have a nice ring to it. We need 5 more subs, says Karen. Oh, we're just not going to get there tonight, are we? Last appeal. If anybody's out there, you're watching the channel, you're enjoying the stream, do hit that subscribe button. Help us get to that 2400 and move on to the next step and reach more reds. You know it makes sense. Sean says, finally feels like Liverpool with some actual squad depth. Roll on August the 12th. Ben said, we've got family that live in Derry. I should be over there for the first time in October, which is brilliant. Beautiful place, Northern Ireland. Yeah, make sure you go around, and if you're over there, go all around Northern Ireland if you can. It's absolutely beautiful. Steve said, preach Craig, people touch the screen. And Long Live King Mo said, be part of the solution, which is absolutely it, isn't it? Be part of the solution. Anfield Agenda and all these wonderful people are part of the solution. So if you haven't yet subscribed, you know you're part of the problem. How do you fix that, I hear you asking? You hit that subscribe button. You give us a thumbs up. You become part of the solution. Every time we get a new subscription, Connor gets one step closer to going to space camp. And we all want Connor to go to space camp. Because if Connor doesn't go to space camp, Gark Mulbridge gets to go to space camp. And nobody wants Gark Mulbridge to go to space camp. We want Connor to go to space camp. Connor said, give generously this summer. Every YouTube subscription, one less person who's missing out on these live streams. There you go. You're right, Connor. Well put, my friend. Eric said, night guys, great cast. Thank you, Eric, mate. Have a good one, buddy. Thanks for joining in the stream, and we hope to talk to you soon. Dirty Girl said, does Redman TV have LFC, Sky approval on film and stuff? They must be funded by the EU. I honestly don't know how any of those content providers work, mate. I'm sure they do everything completely above board. Those guys are all seasoned guys. They know what they're doing. And they make good content. So no, I couldn't even guess at what rights they do and don't have, but I know that they're great guys who put in a lot of hours to make the good stuff that they make. Damo said, hit subscribe. Listen to Damo, hit subscribe. You know what to do, you little tease you. 8 likes off 150. Come on, Red, said Sean. Tonight's not even about the 150, Sean. Tonight's about the subs. We need to get to that 2400 to send Connor to space camp. He's sitting there now. I can imagine he's worried. He's thinking, shit, Gark has gone to space camp. Nobody wants Gark to go to space camp. People want Connor to go to space camp. He's sitting there as well in his full-on costume at home. I can see him now on his bed back there in Connor Farm, sitting there on his bed in his little spaceman outfit. And then he's looking at a picture of Gark on his phone going, Gark's going to space camp. I wanted to go to space camp. Send Connor to space camp, guys. Hit that sub button. Gark is camp enough, said Steve. Yes, Steve. Brilliant. He certainly is. Mammy special little soldier. Prez said Liverpool football talk was on Sky Sports. I'd love Sean so much. Yeah, we talked to Sean last week actually. I had a call with Sean. I think it was last week. I had a Skype with Sean for about an hour. Very nice guy. Connor said if you don't subscribe, he's going to personally hunt you down, break into your house and hit the subscribe button himself. And you don't want an angry Connor. Tom said hit subscribe and let the wee man get a bit of sleep. The poor dude has been on the diet chav all day. Absolutely, buddy. Absolutely. Garrick is going to space or camp. Oh god, it's been worth it. If nothing else, just for the Garrick comments alone, joining YouTube has been worth it. Oh, the sense of humour that some of the people in this stream have are absolutely brilliant. You guys constantly make me smile. Even when I'm tired, you send me off in a good mood. So thank you very much. Sean is heading off. He said good night, Craig. Hope you get 2.4k soon. Sean, I might be here tomorrow when you log back on. Could still be here. 2 away. Garrick has gone to Camp David Moyes. As he said, Man City fans already talking up how good Mahrez has been for them. It's good for us to. It's good for us. He's got a short-term injury now. Well, to be fair, you never wish injuries on any player, but anything that does give us a little advantage, we've got to take it, don't we? We've got to take any little glimmer we can get. Because wresting the title away from Manchester City is not going to be an easy task. Close encounters of the Garrick kind. That is absolute quality Farwell, mate. Defo in the top 5, that one. Close encounters of the Garrick kind. Jason and the Garkanauts from Paul, another belter. I think Connor's having a stroke or something. He's full on going angry tonight. He's threatening people and everything now. Headbutts all around if people don't hit the subscribe button. Joan of Garrick. That is... how do you guys... You guys are fucking brilliant. Joan of Garrick. That's brilliant. Joan of Garrick. Garrickings. This one time at Space Camp. I get you. I could do so much with that, Thomas, but yeah, I could do so much with that, honestly. Stephen Gawkins. Didn't somebody say last night he has Garkinsons? Which obviously we don't in any way want to diminish the impact of Parkinson's in anybody's life at all. I mean, it's a horrible, horrible disease. But Garkinsons was funny. Lubac said Connor would be the first man to have a wank in space. Oh, you know he would as well. You know he would. But just think, if you don't hit that subscribe button, Gark could be that man to have the first Tommy tank in space. Man like Gark side of the moon. Connor said he's not getting any sleep tonight. The goddamn dogs won't stop Garkin. See, I was going to read barking there, but I knew in Garkin. Connor, help me, buddy. Where are we at? Am I giving up here? Am I giving up, or have we got to 2400 yet? Can a man get some sleep? Gartic Space Monkeys. That's one I just came up with, by the way. Gartic Space Monkeys. Dr. Garklove. Gark and mad, said Steve. Lee said Mourinho moaning at Martial going to his kid's birth. Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous, isn't it? That is ridiculous. The difference there being that obviously Kloppo was wishing Nathaniel Klein, and his family well at the birth of their young one. 3 away. Come on, guys. We're 3 away. 3 subs away from me actually getting to go to sleep. And Connor getting to go to space camp and be the first man to knock one out in space. 3 to go, said Karen as well. Come on, guys. 3 to go. Let's do it. We can get here. Hit that fucking subscribe button, guys. Come on. It's not that hard. 3 to go. Make Connor's dreams come true. Get him to space camp. Don't you remember? Gark Mulbridge could be in space. Jack said we've done it. Can we have confirmation of that one? We need confirmation of that one. Gark Side of the Moon from Space Camp, said Tom Connolly. Gark, good old Gark. I wonder if Gark knows about Gark actually. Do you guys reckon that Gark knows about Gark? Somebody said that he went onto his channel and said, "How's it going, Gark?" and they got kicked out. So I wonder if he does. But Gark, we should just come on here and do a stream one night and say nothing but Gark. Just Gark in different variations of Garkness. 2 away. We're just 2 away now. It's almost like you're teasing me at this point. 2 away. Although Steve's saying we're there, Connor, so is your computer just a piece of shit? And you need to refresh the page? 1 away now, said Connor. I feel like Connor's just winding me up now. We're probably at like 2.5 at this point, and Connor's going, no, only 1 needed. Steve said I rounded it off. You're not allowed to round it off. Not allowed to round it off. And it was Connor that got booted out for saying hello, Gark. Do you reckon Gark knows about Gark? That's what I wonder. He has to. Surely somebody's told him about Gark at this point. Gark? We got 2400. There we go. This bald Irish man can finally rest his voice of his and get some sleep because I'm absolutely knackered. It's been a privilege this week, guys. Thank you so much for everything. Everything you've done with the channel. Everything you've done to help us get here. Thank you. We'll be back tomorrow night, of course, with another stream at about 9:30. So I'll chat to you all then. Thank you for getting to 2400. Honestly, you don't know how much that will keep my mind at rest. But until tomorrow, guys, I'm absolutely knackered. As always, I'll end with the same thing. Thank you again, and up to motherfucking Reds.